Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. That's right, you probably didn't expect to see me on a Saturday afternoon. Maybe you thought I was sitting around watching Saturday afternoon cartoons that don't come on anymore. You know, was it Ghost Rider or something like that? Uh-huh. Herbie, I think it was the Herbie Zoom Bug or something like that. How about Grape Ape, Hong Kong Fooey, all of those joints that we used to enjoy so much that they took away from us. The Smurfs, oh yeah. Well, instead of doing that, I am going to make up for lost time because, as you might know if you watch my show frequently, that I wasn't here on Thursday or Friday, so now I got to make up for lost time. I got to make it up. Can't leave y'all hanging like that. It's not my style. It's not my style. Plus, all this nonsense is going on, and I gotta make sense out of it. I mean, like I said, I gotta keep clearing off my nonsense table. You don't want it to pile up, become disorganized. You're looking around like, yo, man, where'd I put that nonsense that I was about to talk about? Now, I can see that some people are logging on. It looks like my internets might be running slow because, I was seeing myself looking like I was boogalooing. Yeah, going back to breaking, electric boogaloo. But let's see if that clears up or not. I got the Wi-Fi on, so hopefully that'll take care of it. Today, I might go and purchase a new, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. I might go and get us another TV, y'all. I might have to go ahead and get us another screen. So, that's going to be an expense. So definitely, if anybody wants to help Kevin get another flat screen TV because his went out, foundation, feel free. I want it big so y'all can see all the expressions on these dumb Democrats' faces. I want y'all to be able to see the zits and stuff like that on their faces. So anyway, as people are logging in, I hope your weekend is going well so far, wherever you're enjoying it from. Let me know. Always feel free to chime in and say, chiming in from wherever. And I definitely appreciate it. It gives me an idea of how far Kevin's Corner's reach has gone. That's what it does. Now, with that being said, once again, like I said, people are logging in. We got about 37 folks. This was unexpected, so my assumption was folks were probably out kicking it. Maybe if they ain't living in Ohio where everything's been wet forever, they might be out cutting their grass. Right now, my grass is bullying me. Every time I leave my house, I'm about to get jumped by my grass. My grass be like, shh, here he comes. Shh. All right, just relax, everybody. Stay still. Stay still. Now, as soon as he go to get in his truck, let's jump him. Dogs can't even go to the bathroom in the grass. That's how much it's been raining. And spring right now is getting 100% its due. Boy, it's cold up here and it's raining. Bad combination, man. Anyway, rain, go away. Come back another day, like the kids used to say. So, I hope you're not dealing with that. But whatever you're doing, I hope you stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you used to. Yeah, y'all used to seeing me Monday through Friday around 7 or so. But look at this. Bam! In your face on a Saturday morning. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So now, enough jaw-jacking. Let's go ahead and get loose so we can get busy. I bet you Dawn, I probably caught her completely off guard. Dawn probably like, whoa, what's this? What's this? Yeah, let's see how Dawn's schedule is free and see if she pops up or something like that. Because Dawn be on the money on the spot. But I got her this time. I might have fooled her, so we might not have a moderator this time. But it's okay, though. We'll make up for it, too, for lost time. So let's get it. Yeah, man. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Yeah, buddy. Some gorillas in here. Yeah, and you guys are in here, too. The Gorilla Clan. That's right. Y'all all chilling in Kevin's Corner on a Saturday afternoon. Yeah. I feel relaxed. I don't feel the pressure of having to rush through my material like I do during the weekdays because, I'm looking at the clock the whole time. I'm like, wait a minute, let me see. All right, minus the 3K to 1, I get about an hour and 45 minutes before I have to be at work and stuff like that. But I don't complain. Actually, I'm enjoying the nighttime shift. The third shift is great. Yeah, man, them vampire hours. I'll be up on that line up in that steel mill talking about blah, blah. This is the perfect time for me. I love it, man. Everybody else being there nodding off. I'm like, wake up, everybody. I love being up this late, blah, blah. Then I come home and have to go ahead and get in my coffin, sleep, and wake up and do my show. So here we are on a Saturday, and we got to start off a little trip. Oh, somebody just said California. Well, guess what? That's where exactly we're going right now. We got to go to Cali, y'all. So I'm apologize ahead of time for all the sane people out there in California, because y'all got some crazy ones too. Oh, California, it's kind of crazy. Don't forget though, text MAGA to that number on your screen. Also, check out Kevin's Corner Store, and you can support the channel through my Cash App, PayPal, and all that stuff. All the links are below each video. But while we're doing this, make sure you hit that like button. Now let's go to Cali. Going back to Cali. Cali. I'm going back to Cali. Man,
an Inland Empire High School student has sparked a nationwide debate about trans athletes, and tonight...
Oh, not again. Now, before we get into this, guys, last live stream, I didn't know it because nobody mentioned it until after the show and I rewatched it. There was a little popping going on every once in a while. Actually, wasn't once in a while. I was popping, going crazy on my mic. So if y'all hear that, let me know because I can't hear it. I'm assuming everything sounds pretty cool right now. I cleaned out the things and stuff, made sure the connection is tight. So hopefully we won't have any of that. But nonetheless, here we go. Back to Cali. Somebody said, turn Cali red. That's right. Yeah, we need a red wave to come to Cali. So now we're back full circle talking about an issue that, we should have never, ever been talking about as the human species. That's the first thing. I'm embarrassed as a human. I might have to go ahead and deny humans 3 times if I go to another galaxy. Are you one of those humans? Man, I don't know Chubb. I don't know them humans. And I'm pretty sure I've seen you as a human. I said I ain't no human. Are you sure you're not a human? Like Peter. Then go to cussing. And I bleep, bleep, bleep. Said I ain't no bleeping, bleep, 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 human. Dang on it. You see how stupid them folks are down there? Trying to debate whether men should be allowed to play in women's sports. Now, you would think this would be over, especially after, Trump and an executive order and all of the fallout that has come from them in the election with this 80-20, and honestly, I doubt if it's even 80-20, it's probably more than that. But this issue that, you would think everybody would go, shh, all right, everybody, I'm sorry, we're going to have to throw the Transformers under the bus. This ain't a good look. This could bring bad juju to us. So instead, we're out in California again with this Transformer who now is going to the state championship. Now, isn't that amazing?
President Trump is weighing in and using the controversy to leverage a major threat against California.
That's right, Pat. And tonight, a family spokesperson told me this transgender athlete just wants to know why so many people are making such a big deal about her running in high school sports.
Now, you see, that's right. I'm the victim. And this is the bad part about especially the young transgender community and kids that, are, for whatever reason, people encourage this mess and then they don't say nothing to them when they get into a sport. I mean, even if I had a kid that became trans, they wouldn't do it on my watch, but let's just say it happened, and they get into sport. I'm not going to be the person, the father, that would be delusional and out here talking about, that's right, daughter, you go get him, Tiger. I'm coming to all your meets and stuff. I would be going, that's embarrassing. I can't support this. Don't you stop and realize for 1 second that you might just be, kind of taking away an opportunity from some of the females? Do you think people are going to celebrate your win when you're built like me? I mean, give you all the genetics to succeed as a man, but for some reason you use that to go and exploit girls' sports. I wouldn't be able to support that. Yeah, you won't find me in the audience talking about something with my own stopwatch. You know what? I clocked him, coach, at a 9.8. What did you get? No, I'm the guy that's going, coach, I'm sorry about this, man. You sure y'all want to let him? I mean, I don't think he should be So now here we are. He done made it to state, and this is an issue. So let's go ahead and deal with it.
Instead of focusing on bigger issues in the world. But critics say this actually is a big issue. They claim she's stealing spots from other girls.
Yeah. So now the argument that, many of these people try to make, it ain't that many of us. Why is everybody focused on just me? Just a little old me. Just little old me. Well, little old you looks real big to somebody who's been practicing and working and training for 4 years, and then you knocked them out of the state championship. Now, all of a sudden, you might be small in the bigger scheme of life, but you're big in that person's life, especially if you should have been there. It's different if, hey, look, man, son, that guy right there came out of nowhere. The real guy is a real guy. And he just beat you. Try harder next year. Versus you really was the top seed, and this guy who shouldn't have been in your dang going heat, all of a sudden now he's there and he's really a girl. And we got to try to pretend that he's not. I'm not going to say, you'll get him next time, daughter. I'll be going, you should have got him this time. But this guy deprived you of the gold medal. So how can you try to downplay it? It's almost offensive when these people take these positions and they win in all these sports and stuff. And then they go, why is everybody focused on me? Just little on me compared to all the other stuff that can be. Now, if you overlook the little things, you do realize those little things will become bigger things. Little things mean a lot. I mean, if you start overlooking craziness will spread. You think craziness got to govern? You think craziness going to be like, man, maybe we should stop where we're headed. You know what I'm saying? Let's not get too crazy. Back in my party days, the more partying, the better. Shoot, I was like, man, you know what? Let's tear the roof off the sucker, tear the roof off the sucker, tear the roof off the sucker. I wanted to kick it till the sun came up. Folks had to tell me, man, go home, man. It's time to go home, man. She's old, man. Don't you got class in the morning? So, yeah, you can't tolerate this stuff as a society because if you don't, indirectly, that's letting folks think, well, it's okay, I guess. And so now that person's the victim. And yes, here comes his advocates.
A transgender student from Rubio Valley is making waves across the country for going all the way to the high school state championships.
Thank you, Alex.
As a girls track and field athlete, President Trump took to Truth Social today, claiming the governor illegally allows men to play in women's sports and threatening to cut federal funding if California doesn't follow his executive order, recognizing two genders.
First of all, it's bullying.
Oh, now I got to hit it with the chewing. Here we go. Shaved hair on the side. Apparently, this is a transgender advocate. First of all, it's bullying. To who? To the girls that he's beating? These are those arguments that make you detest these type of people because you know they're using them as strongmans. I mean, it's one of those things like, I'm going to go ahead and start off by saying just because people got common sense and they're able to recognize fairness and unfairness, I'm going to say it's bullying. Now, do you really think adults that got a problem with this? They're trying to bully a kid? See, this is the stupid stuff. I would ask these people straight up. Like if she right now, she's on some program just spewing up her wokeness. But if I was to get hold of her, I said, wait, stop, go back. First of all, it's bullying. You telling me all these adults that never had to deal with this situation up to the last maybe 10 or 11 years came out of nowhere? We always known the difference between men and women. We always was able to say, hey, there's the girls event. Let's go down and check them out versus the boys. But now we got to sit back and tolerate this. You're telling me all of these rational, common sense Americans across the globe that are saying, yeah, that's not fair. Their motive is bullying. That's what it is. These grown-ups are like, you know what, let's go find a kid to bully. Oh, there's one right there. Has nothing to do with this young man who just took all those places, went to state, had nothing to do with that. It's just bullying. That's our motive. Right there, you lose the argument when you come up with something stupid like that. And you try to discredit everybody's legitimate concern as bullying. Here's some more stuff.
And discriminatory.
And it's discriminatory. For who? What is this species you're claiming we're discriminating against? You got men, you got women. Well, you don't want to discriminate against men or women, but what's this third category you speak of? That's the problem. How can you discriminate against a category of humans that does not exist? So now it's discrimination. Discrimination of who? What? Where? I mean, what? Are we discriminating against this person because they're what? Hispanic? No. Okay, what about because they're tall, short, whatever? No. So the only issue is the made-up issue. Only issue is, of course, the delusional part of this argument. The delusional part that doesn't even exist. No such thing as a trans girl. But you're going to see why craziness just won't stop. Crazy town. Because people like this, watch this.
And this person was voted into an office to work for all the people.
Oh, yeah, you hear that? So Trump was voted into an office to work for all the people. So now you have the majority of people who are saying, well, up until 5 minutes ago, we all knew what a girl was and what a boy was, and we wouldn't dare allow boys to get in girls' sports. And so what we're going to do is we're going to change all of sports, make every woman vulnerable to somebody who might take advantage of this, because we're trying to make every person feel good versus the majority of humans who still have common sense and sanity that are saying, so wait, let me understand. You're telling me that President Trump should suspend reality, suspend common sense and fairness, and allow this person right here to take advantage of that while disenfranchising the masses. We now have to sacrifice, 10 or 11 girls who are all in this meet. So now all of a sudden, first place goes to second, second place goes to third, third go to fourth. You got the first place winner standing there with the silver. All of those girls that's standing on that podium are mad. But hey, long as that one person who thinks he's a girl is happy. All of the parents in the audience are mad. People watching this are mad. Folks around the country are mad. Folks around the world definitely are mad. And yet, Trump's supposed to be like, well, guys, I'm sorry, I couldn't do nothing about it. I'm supposed to be the president for all people, even a version of humans that doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. So now you see these arguments these stupid people make?
And you're going to spend your time picking on a child?
Once again, belittling my intelligence and everybody else's. Yeah, you're trying to create an evil motive for evil's sake. For evil's sake. Not giving your audience the background or the motivation of why people are upset. All of a sudden, you want to create an evil villain and you're not explaining the backdrop. What motivates the evil villain? Is it just pure evil? So now, all of us out here just want to pick on a child. Want to pick on a child. That's what that is. So now, it's springtime. Say I go to a track meet and I see all the girls running together, all the boys running together. And I look out there and I say, all right, man, I'm looking for a kid to pick on. All right, there's a girl right there in her right sport because she's recognizing she's a girl. But I'm just going to pick on her because I want to pick on a kid. Yeah, versus. That little girl right there is built like a man. And that girl right there just beat my daughter, beat all these other girls. I don't want to pick on that kid. I just want fairness. We have no problem with this kid doing whatever that his mother and parents are allowing him to do. I do have a problem with it, but what I'm saying is, if he wasn't in girls' sports beating people, nobody would be saying nothing about it. Nobody would be picking on him. But now she's just trying to make it seem like we just showed up somewhere at a track meet and decided, hey, let's just pick on the person who won it all. What? That's really a boy? I had no idea. I thought it was a girl, and I just simply want to pick on that girl. That's what I want to do. Had no idea. So let's go ahead and finish this advocate trying to use these stupid arguments to justify this nonsense.
Kathy Mullig is the founder and executive director of Trans Family Support Services. Baby Hernandez's family has her speaking on their behalf about the challenges she faces as a trans teenager trying to find her way in this world.
It's breaking mom's heart to have these hard conversations with her kiddo.
Is that breaking mom's heart to have these conversations with the kid? How do you feel? How do you think it feels to have a conversation to your daughter who that man just beat? That's what I want to know. Well, honey, I know you've been training and You, wow, you actually out jumped all the real girls, but we don't want to get upset about this guy girl who got in your heat and won. I think you should be open-minded and fair and not complain about it, because we don't want people throwing eggs at our house and chasing us around every night going shame, 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 and stuff like that. We don't want that. That's a hard conversation to have. Tell your daughter, suck it up, to make room for this nonsense. That's a hard conversation. But she's like, how do you think that? Maybe if his parent rather, would have had a conversation with him a long time ago and said, look, first things first, you're not a little boy. Simple as that. I'm not going to allow you to be raised pretending you're a little girl, because you're not a little girl, you're a little boy. I'm not going to be buying you little girl stuff and clothes and things like that. If you get your own job and you go out and buy yourself a dress or something, you ain't going to be doing it with my money. When you're 18, you can do whatever you want to do after you move out of my crib, okay? Period. Or you could have talked your kid out of getting into girl sport. You do realize, even though you think you're this way and you are something, everybody's not going to be okay with you, because, see, you're still rocking male features. Yeah, that's a hard combo to have with your kid. I don't care what you believe. You're still rocking my genetics, son. All right. So it probably wouldn't be a good idea to you to go over there and get in the girls. So now you put the kid in the match, and now you're talking about it's a hard conversation to have. Whereas everybody that's looking at this is going, no, this is bullcrap. We shouldn't even be having this conversation.
All the time about the hate and the discrimination that's coming.
Here it is. See the advocates? Because of the hate and discrimination that's coming. What discrimination? What hate? Do you really see? Once again, we're just being evil, guys, for evil's sake. That's right. We just randomly looked around and said, who can we find to hate? Especially a kid. Oh, yeah, there's one right there. Has nothing to do with this kid just beating all of these kids in sports because he's really a guy. It's just that we want to bring all kind of hate and stuff. These people sound like kids. Yeah, these are motives that kids would assign to adults who discipline them. He told me I couldn't get no chocolate ice cream because he don't like me. He hate me. No, it's because you're fat. You're built like a butterball turkey and you're 5. Yeah, we're not going anywhere until you can give me a pull-up, you little Christmas ham. So don't be up there talking about, Dad won't let me eat the candy bars. Get somebody. Yeah, because you should be outside running around. Yeah, look how pudgy you are, kid. I'm trying to save you from a heart attack at 7. So don't think that it's because I hate you, it's because I love you. So now they're trying to tell us that, yeah, it's because we hate these kids and all of that stuff. And here comes another one. A girl who used to be a guy and took all kind of stuff to make the hair go away and grow a beard.
Part of a sports team is about physical health. It's about being out there and making community and making friends.
That's what it's
as well as competition.
As well as competition. So you can get rid of the hair, but you couldn't get rid of the, that light voice. There it is. You grew a beard, but can't get rid of that treble in your voice. So this person's argument is that it's not fair. I mean, it's simply about calisthenics. You can get that from gym class or pickup league or something like that. But when you get into organized competition and you got folks training and you're thinking, man, number one, even if I don't make it to college, I could walk away with some great memories from my high school track experience. As long as I win in my division or at the state championship, even if I don't get a scholarship, I'll always be able to look back and tell my kids, honey, when I was in high school, I took first place in the high jump and the triple jump. Versus, honey, I would have taken first place in the high jump and the triple jump, but some guy was in our category and beat me. And the grown-ups told me to shut up, said that I was bullying if I would have gotten upset about this. Bullying. And so this guy's trying to make it seem like it's just about sports. Everybody needs to be in great shape. First of all, you need to take your own advice. Don't look like you ever played anything, not even marbles. They ain't going to probably get tired playing marbles. Oh, God, that's enough for me. I can't go no more. Jacks. I'm done. I'm done for the day. So now this guy right here is trying to tell us it's all about just being in health and shape and stuff. But no, I am a former athlete from high school and in college. You think I was out there just doing it for fun? It's fun when you win. And when you lose, it sucks. Let alone losing because some adults let some people who shouldn't have been in your category get in there and beat you. Now, I could take it. Like I said, my high school squad, it's a tough pill to swallow, man. That last football game, boy, I wish I could replay it. But it would be devastating if they stacked the odds against us. All right, we swapping out the regular high school team. We're going to bring in a college team for you guys to play. Efforts to make it to state championship. We're going, these dudes kind of big. I mean, you sure we, maybe, does this seem fair to you? Shut up, you bigots. So we go out there and we get beat by a college team, and we're supposed to suck it up and celebrate it and give them a high five and great job, guys. It's unfair. But people like this try to simplify it and make it think it's all about just organized sports. No, it ain't. Folks be out there competing. I'm not that guy that's going to get out there and tell the kids it's for just a participation trophy. Get out there and win. I'm like Ricky Bobby. If you're not first, you're last. Okay? So let's finish hearing them justify this nonsense.
2 weeks ago, athletes who compete at similar events protested Hernandez's involvement.
We want to show respect and fairness to all people. However, allowing biological men to compete against biological girls creates an unfair playing field.
You shut up, you little bigot girls. We don't want to hear from your kind. We don't want to hear from real little girls. There it is, those little girls right there. They're just being motivated by hate. That's what it is. They're just bullying. And I'm thinking, by the way, thank you very much, Tammy. I appreciate that. But in their mind, yeah, you're just bullying. You're just bullying this girl. See, now, you see how butt backwards our society has become. You see how crazy a division or a small sect of our country has become. Completely mad. You have to have little girls coming out here saying, we're not scared. We're not discriminate. We're not racist but we just don't think maybe we should be. And it only goes one way. It's always women having to say, you know what? I don't think it's okay for men to be. I'm saying, where's the women? And why isn't that all of these little girls who transition to be boys, why don't they go over there and dominate in male sports? They don't even get in male sports. I don't care what they played as females. When they start saying, I'm a man now, or a little boy, they never go over and compete with the men. Go figure. Nobody's ever able to figure that out. Nobody's able to look at this and go, well, that's the reason. Because they're still females, whether they believe they are or not, and they recognize that they would go over there and get dominated. But yet, vice versa. All these guys who think they're females go over there and dominate. And you got people out there talking about this isn't even a big idea. I don't see why people are upset. They just hate these kids and they're bullying them.
Case of protests this weekend, the CIF says it's working with Clovis Unified to ensure appropriate security.
Of opinion, if you look at the science.
See, this is what I mean by nonsense and craziness. Like you see this person right there? That person right there who obviously is a man, baby. That guy right there. Dr. Phil is about to try to go ahead and lay down an airtight case why men should not be allowed to compete against women. But here's the type of nonsense you have out there defending this. These are the advocates. Y'all ready for some A1 delusion?
The male advantage over females, there are functional differences between biological men and biological women.
What? Get out of here. Kiss my grits. Are you serious? It took Dr. Phil to have to get on TV and explain that for us to all realize that, huh? Or could it be all of the data from the dawn of time where we've always observed the difference between men and women? There you go. So many times I've seen women say, hey, could you help me open this pickle jar? And I'm watching them, and all of a sudden I grab that pickle jar and go, thank you. They don't go, you know what, you're just toxic. That's what you, no. They realize I'm struggling with the pickle jar. You got a different grip. You got a different hand grip right there. Yeah. If you are a natural or just a ordinary man, If a woman grab you by the arm, you can easily yank your arm straight out of her grip. But if you grab her by the arm, she'd be like, boy, you better get off me. It's just like a child. You grab a kid by the arm, come here. And they start pulling and yanking. They ain't going nowhere. If you are a natural man with decent strength, the grip is different. The grip is different. See, so I guess Dr. Phil now has to come out and explain this to our society that went backwards in their intelligence.
Men have 57% better grip strength.
Look at that. 57% better grip strength. I don't know about you, any of those women out here, okay, who, you know what, I don't believe that. Men and women are exactly the same. It just is all it's mental, it's a social construct. What would you rather happen if you were dangling off the side of a cliff? Would you rather a woman show up and grab you by both of your arms? I got you, don't worry. I'll hang on as long as I can, but don't have the physical strength to pull you up. Don't have the physical strength to hang on to you. What if it's just one arm? One arm. You could be 115 pounds. And another woman grab you, and after a while, she's going to be like, girl, I'm sorry, I can't hold on no more. Me, as a grown man, I can snatch you and pull you straight up, just with upper body strength. So I don't care who you are. If you're a female, you done bought into all this bull crap, and you was hanging off that cliff, and they said, you got two choices. See that guy right there? And you see this girl over here? Which one would you rather grab you and hold on and pull you back up to try to save your life? It doesn't matter. They're equal in strength. It's okay. Let's see either one. It doesn't matter to me. Any woman will come and say, go, give me the guy. My odds are way better. Look at those big old hands he got compared to that lady's petite hands. Look at those big shoulders compared to that lady's slender shoulders. Everybody would pick the guy. But nope, according to these people, we got to now do a study to show that there are actual differences. So now we're going to stick this in front of Blossom's face and see what she says.
They have 54% better quad strength. They have 89% more bicep strength. They have 90% more upper body strength.
Now these are huge numbers. Huge numbers. Unbelievable numbers. You hear these numbers? These are undeniable. This ain't like, all right, they got 2% extra strength in this. They got a 0.5% extra in this. These are like 90. Look at that. All right, so look, 20, let's see. I can't see it from now. Grip, we're at 57. Let's see. Oh, quads, 54. What's 89% bicep? Wow. What's the other one? I can't see. I'm reading backwards here. Total upper strength. Oh, no, whoa, look at that. I think that's 90. 33. Look at these numbers. Undeniable numbers right here. Now, you would think the argument would be over based on these numbers and the real life data and stuff like that, but watch this.
They have 33% higher vertical jumps. So how do you answer that, Blossom?
Absolutely.
What nonsense.
Respectfully, Dr. Phil, I'm going to need you to have several seats. Let's be clear. Trans women, again, are women. What you're showing me are male statistics, and trans women are not male.
You see this? How did we become this crazy? It's amazing that we've platformed people, advocates out there. See, once again, here's their argument. You're reading statistics of men as if these trans men were never men. That's her argument. That's what she's saying. Yeah, you're reading statistics of men. So just because these men that fit these statistics have not identified as a woman, then that makes all these statistics right. But what if one of these men, who all these statistics applied to that man, decided all of a sudden that he wants to be a woman or is a woman? Does that negate or erase all of that statistical data? At what point does that data mean nothing? It only means nothing when a man decides that I'm a woman. But for some reason, all the strength does not go away. All of those statistics don't decline. They don't drop down to what a real female statistics would be. They still remain. But this fool is trying to tell you that trans women are women. Then why do we call them trans women? That's my question. They should just be called women. But we got this third category that erases all of those statistics. There it is. That's how delusional this person is on TV. Yeah, you can't argue with crazy. Let's continue.
Everything that I say can actually be proven. It's scientifically proven. Because again, it's almost like you're trying to call trans women men.
Yes, you are. That's exactly what they are. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's just like you know what? That's like you're trying to call humans humans. And I'm a horse. It's ridiculous. I don't care if you bring up the data showing that horses actually can run about 100 times faster than a normal human being. They actually have 1,000% more strength and muscle mass than a human being. Excuse me, Dr. Phil. It sounds like you're trying to describe, a human, or a horse, rather. I mean, doctor, you know what I mean? But no, these people right here just come up with anything. So if I want to believe that I'm a horse, then don't be trying to bring up statistics to show the differences between horses and humans. Yeah. You forget that you're talking about real horses. I'm talking about made-up horses, okay? I'm a trans horse. That's what I am. I'm a trans horse. And you're talking about real horses. I'm a trans horse. So none of that applies to me.
And that is not what trans women are. Trans women work just as hard as cis women to compete. And when we talk about bone density levels, again, there are some women who are stronger and have faster agility than trans women.
You see these stupid arguments? Some women that are, okay, what are these trans women doing again? Are they competing? You're just coming up with some random, that there are some women that are stronger and faster than trans women. Of course, if you're a track star, versus just a regular trans woman living her life, and you're not going to get in there with Marion Jones or get in there with FloJo. I mean, there's a lot of men who are not going to beat them if you are not a trainer, if you're not a track runner. You're just throwing it out there. There's some women that's stronger than, if you're a female power lifter and you just take a regular smaller man who thinks he's a woman and say, well, look, that this power lifter is stronger than this trans woman. Because the power lifter over there is training. They got genetics. They're real big. This guy was 115 pounds. Realized I can't compete. I'm built like a woman. I'm small and petite, so I'm going to go ahead and rock a woman's life. And I'm not a power lifter. Of course. But on an average, we all know the deal. On an average, almost every man is stronger than almost every woman. I'm telling you right now, at my age and at my strength level, I guarantee you I could probably get into any female powerlifting contest and win. No training, nothing. Just like raw, grown man strength. But this person's trying to bring up stats and information and stuff because she don't want to face the truth.
There's a case-by-case basis. I don't know why you're trying to group a group of trans people into one ideology that is false. It sounds like conservative propaganda.
Oh, does it sound like conservative propaganda? No, it sounds like reality. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like common sense. It sounds like physics. There you go. Yeah, you're not going to ever beat reality. These people don't realize that. And we've been tolerating this mess long enough from professional, so-called professional people, that now we've created a whole group of delusional humans that in their head, this is real. In their head. If we would have nipped this at the bud when the first couple people came out talking about, you know what, I think we should call ourselves trans women. Forget going to get our breasts altered and forget dressing up like a woman and forget getting our genitals chopped off. We ain't even got to go through all of that. All we can say is this, now I think I'm just a woman. That's what we gonna do. And adults never came in and said, look at these issues. Sometimes bullying, it works. It bullies out some of the craziness. See? Yeah, maybe we'd have caught the first couple people who came up with this. Look at this. Did you hear what this person said, Jim? Hey, this guy right here has the nerve to think that he could be a woman. Come here, everybody. Let's gather around. Let's gather around. And maybe they'd be like, oh, shoot, I better not bring that one up again. But instead, we have people saying, hey, you never know, man. Sounds good to me. Live out your truth. Really? Yeah, really. Oh, thank you for that. Next thing you know, it's spread it like an epidemic. We need some bulliers to get back on the wheels of steel, bully these people back in the quietness. Like, stop all that, man. Y'all better go underground with it. Be in the basement. Like, okay, how are we doing with the transgender movement? But now they're boldened. They're all out and talking about somebody with all that dude, Dr. Phil. Yeah, I guess you're just talking about real women. But the trans women is different. On TV, with Dr. Phil? Bet you this person would have never, if you would have told us 20 years ago, there would be a man who thinks he's a woman, arguing with Dr. Phil, not only with Dr. Phil, but mad at all the absolute statistics that man just read. Now, you think you're going to get through to this person after you drop that intel? And with all due respect. So now, look at this. She's mad because Dr. Phil told her the truth.
And I think you have drunk the Kool-Aid and have gotten lost in the sauce.
Woo-hoo-wee. You see that? I think you, the same person who just came in with all of those statistics, didn't bring in emotions at all. Just straight saying, all right, here's the data. Here's all the statistics. And all of a sudden, he's drinking the sauce. So now this trans woman who just heard all those statistics can't deal with it. Too much realness. So, no, it's your fault for not being delusional, Dr. Phil.
I'm sorry, Dr. Phil. I'm going to disagree with you. And I think that the statistics that you've shown me prove nothing.
Prove nothing. Oh, boy, these people. Yipper. So he thinks that those statistics that I'm sure somebody put a lot of time in to prove, in which we really don't have to do that. We could probably just, go off our common sense and not have to do studies and get statistics and stuff. But according to this person, those mean nothing. So let me understand. You got a little kid or just a human. I believe I can fly. I'm an eagle. That's right. They're out there singing songs. Fly like an eagle to the sea. And everybody's like, yeah, man, live out your truth. Good. I'm about to take it to another level. I'm going up on top of this building and jump and watch me soar off into the sunset. And folks go, whoa, wait a minute. Whoa. Now, it was cute at first and everything, but you do realize you're not a real eagle, though. We've been kind of pacifying you and stuff and chuckling and stuff, but you're not an eagle. Yes, I am an eagle. Well, don't do that. You can be an eagle in your head, but don't jump up there and try to fall, because you're going to fall. Now, what makes you think I'm going to fall? Statistics, reality, physics. Since the dawn of time, humans aren't able to fly without assistance. We don't have feathers. We don't have wings. All that data means nothing to me. No human has ever jumped off of a building and flew. You're going to beat those odds? Yes, because none of that information means nothing to me. Because in my head, I'm going to sound like you've been drinking the Kool-Aid. That's what you've been doing. Now watch me fly. Yeah, going to overcome reality. Going to overcome all the data, the stuff. You're like, whoa. I'm going to even make it even better for you. Let's go and get some items and drop it off the building, okay? Look at that. See, gravity, it all fell. Yes, but see, those aren't the eagles like me. So let's go fall. But see, because you that's not a good comparison. You actually drop it off like, bricks and stuff like that. But I'm an eagle. So that person will find out reality, will snap them back as they're falling, screaming, no. So now watch this person who's angry at Dr. Phil. You see, got the finger and everything. And you know what? All due respect, Dr. Phil.
When it comes to trans women, get up there and show me statistics specifically with trans women and cis women, and then we can revisit this conversation.
Oh boy, you see that? How stupid this person is? Because trans women are men. But she's like, show me the statistics between trans women and real women, cis women. Boy, our society, man, has tolerated this lunacy, man. Has platformed this lunacy. Do you think there's anything in the world that will convince this person that what he's talking about is crazy and nonsense? You know why? Because this person is also delusional. That's what it is. This person has already bought into their own delusion. And if they were to confess that what Dr. Phil is saying, it would destroy his whole world, his whole persona. That means he would have to admit that I'm living a lie too. I think I'm a woman, but I'm really not. So that's why you get people like this who really bought into it. And then you get politicians who pander to it. So they bought into it. Politicians pander to it.
That trans women who block testosterone do not remove initial male advantages.
Now, see, Dr. Phil's trying to help him. Dr. Phil took it to another level. Well, I mean, you know what, Dr. Phil, I mean, with all due respect, I think this information you giving me is bull crap. You done bought into the Kool-Aid, and you're trying to compare trans women to men. We talking about trans women to women. So now what does he do? Without emotions, without saying, well, the way I feel. No, Dr. Phil says, well, actually, I'm glad that you bring that up, because here's another study. And watch what Blossom here does.
Doesn't change wingspan. It doesn't change post-pubescent male's anatomy.
Look at that.
And there are only slight changes. At the most, you start with a difference of about 40% across the board in upper body, 45% in lean muscle mass, 33% in lower body muscle mass, 83% in tendon resistance, 30% in cardiac output. The most you're going to get is a 10% reduction, and that doesn't even almost get to a level playing field. So even
Well, look at that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, how will the transgender respond to this? We'll be right back after these messages. Yeah, I want to see how Blossom's going to overcome that new data that he gave him, because you can never give these people any data that would change their mind, because they're all delusional. When you're crazy, doesn't matter. People say, man, do you realize you're crazy? Man, no, you crazy. Yeah. But you're in the middle of the street talking to yourself and playing in traffic as a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, baby, you got to do what you got to do. Come on, man. And you're going, this person is unaware that they're crazy. I don't care how much I tell them. If they are not sane, they will never embrace this. So now, once again, he follows up with these facts that he just requested.
even with hormone therapy and testosterone blockers, particularly post-pubescent, it doesn't level the playing field at all.
Now, you would think that would be it. You would think that he got that dude right there in the Bob Backlund chicken wing, ready to snap it, and that person would say, that's it, no mas, no mas. You would think that right there he got him in a rear naked choke, and them eyes are starting to roll up in his head, and he's going to say, no mas, no mas. You would think that. But watch this.
So what you're saying is not supported by the science. The advantages of height,
Look,
wingspan.
Look at that. Right there. This is the person falling off the cliff, yelling no on the way down. Not realizing it doesn't matter what you say at this point. Reality is greater than you. You can't will yourself out of this. Yeah, I know you don't want to fall and smash on the rocks, but hey, ain't nothing stopping it at this point. It's greater than you. So you might as well go ahead and swan dive. Make it look pretty. Tucking and rolling and all of that. Get some points on your way down. Because you screaming, no! Gravity's not going to say, oh, what? Everybody stop. This person's yelling no. And they really seem to mean it. Go ahead. Let's lay them down gently. It's not going to happen. That's reality right here. This person is listening to Dr. Phil and going, no! But it doesn't matter how much you shake your head side to side. It is not going to change reality.
Bone strength, larger heart, and greater lung volume. The only thing that seems to equate is hemoglobin. Other than that, it just simply doesn't equate.
Now, you can go and get every scientist in the world to say, actually, what Dr. Phil said is true. I mean, you want us to run the data again? I mean, you want to sit here and watch us go through all the steps in the data? Do you want to verify that there's nothing in the world that can convince this person right here that what they believe is garbage?
I disagree, Dr. Phil, because again, I'm questioning for the trans people that they study. When there's only less than 10 trans athletes in the NCAA. Like, that is what I really want to know. It sounds like there's a lot of bias in this research.
It sounds like it's a little bias in this research. No, what it is, it's a lot of reality. It's a lot of physics. You know what it is? It's a lot of human history in this research. That's all it is. Teleport Blossom back. We even got to go back 1,000 years. Teleport Blossom back 20 years. 20 years. Everybody's going, you're nuts. You keep this craziness to yourself. Don't you go around. If you was a family member, don't you tell nobody that's how you thinking. Girl, you have folks showing up at the house talking about, we need to have a counseling session with y'all. I heard your son think he's a little girl, and Yeah. So Blossom here is like, I don't care what you say. I don't care what those data and those numbers say.
And I would actually like to study up on it myself and really figure out what's going on here.
No, you already know what's going on. We don't need to study up on nothing. And even if you did read the study, you would still conclude, I don't care. I don't care. 1 + 1 does not equal 2.
I think it's very dangerous to try to weaponize these statistics.
There you go. When our back's up against the reality wall, there it is. Dangerous by telling us the truth. Dangerous by weaponizing the truth. Dangerous by weaponizing reality. There it is. That's what he's saying. I'm talking about weaponizing this study. No, forget the study. The study only tells us what we all know. It's the truth. But you're talking about dangerous. So basically, just so it don't come across as dangerous, which he's not explaining what dangerous is and what he means dangerous for weaponizing it. So I think it's more dangerous by lying to people who are delusional. I think it's more dangerous by allowing little boys or little girls to believe something that isn't true, and then you go ahead and support them and allow them to start altering their growth because an adult and some other perverted adults say, yeah, why not? That's dangerous. But according to him, dangerous by weaponizing all of that truth.
Against trans women who are trying to play in sports, mainly because of safety concerns. And
what safety concerns? It should be safety concerns for the real women who's getting dominated by the men who think they're women. But the safety concerns?
I think we have to be really clear. There is a lot more research that still needs to be done.
Really?
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
No, he doesn't. A lot more research that needs to be done. So then when you finally get your back up against the wall and you realize there's no way out of this man just beat me up real bad on TV, hit me with the first statistics that I denied. And then right when I was like, well, you know what? I got another angle that I'm going to throw at him. Then he comes back and says, I'm glad you asked. Here's the rest of the statistics. All of a sudden, it's dangerous. So now that makes you get scared and shut up because you're putting people's lives in danger and stuff like that. And you're weaponizing this stuff. So now back to this situation out in California. So CNN, who apparently didn't get the message about how many people in our society is looking at this and going, this is crazy. Democrats are supporting what? CNN is now this person is going to try to really support the transgender situation with this little boy by doing what Blossom just did. Yeah? By simply saying, we need more studies. When you just show us the study that should eliminate all of this nonsense, the fallout is we need more information. So here we go. A whole dose of truth is coming.
Make this fair for her to compete for those who are competing against her.
Now you see this? This is propaganda at its best. This is wordsmithing at its best. For her to but that her. Notice migrants, citizens. Maryland man. Isn't it funny how they can't get the description right on CNN when they're trying to push propaganda? They never tell you what it really is. All of these the migrants that are no illegal immigrants. Now all of a sudden, yeah, you got to go ahead and make sure you're talking about the same thing with these propagandists. Because when you're hearing her, you're going, whoa. We're not talking about the same thing. We can't have this discussion if you're viewing this boy as a girl. That's the main issue. But you're going ahead and you're supporting this and encouraging this by saying her.
What would that kind of structure in competition look like?
Who is her?
AB.
Okay, AB Hernandez is a male who identifies as a female.
Ooh-wee. So, did y'all see this heavy dose of reality? I'm loving this lady. I don't know who she is. She's I guess a lawyer out there actually trying to defend the little girls that are getting beat up out there in California. So, yeah, first things first. Let's address this. Her. Let's address that. Who is her? Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and establish the reality.
What would be fair is to have Hernandez competing in the male category. It is not fair to the females competing to have to compete with a male.
Bam!
Hell yeah.
Is that something, though, that would hurt all student athletes, including athletes who are assigned female at birth?
Now, there it is. Another crazy statement that you picked up by the wokeness and the liberals. Since when do we now have to start saying assigned female at birth? There it is. The doctor makes that decision at birth. They all gather around with their lab coats and stuff. And all right, come in here, Frank. We want a second opinion on this. All right, so apparently the infant is showing an apple stem protruding with little teeny jingle bells beneath it. But it's very difficult to decide what this represents. What do you think? You think we should assign him the male or female at birth? So let's go with the apple stem theory. We're going with the apple stem theory? Okay. So theoretically, if an infant has an apple stem and some jingle bells, then it's a male. So we're going to go ahead and assign male at birth. There you go. Do you understand? Once again, this lady who's trying to pacify the trans community and trying to be woke is buying into this. You're part of the problem when you start saying people who are assigned male at birth. What are you talking about? Assigned male? God assigned them male or female in their mother's womb. But you got dummies now trying to rewrite how we view babies being born.
Would his federal funding threat hurt athletes?
If the money is taken away.
The money's taken.
Right. So the law actually says that schools that do not abide Title IX or other federal laws cannot receive federal funds.
Yeah.
So that's not Trump's fault. The problem is that the
crazy people's
state
fault.
with AB 1266.
But you understand, Julie, there's two views here on Title IX. So just to be clear, not everyone agrees with you on how you're viewing it. So in that regard, if you were to take away the funding on
now you hear the garbage coming in. CNN once again, they didn't get the memo. 80, and I'm questioning that number, but 80, they claim 80% of citizens are saying this is ridiculous when it comes to this transgender issue and boys competing with girls. But now the CNN, but you know that not everybody believes the same thing. How many? How? I mean, like, do you think that the majority of Americans that still have common sense are questioning whether this boy should be in there with that girl, with the girls? But now she's talking about a very small, crazy group of people in our society. But she wants to make it seem like this is, pretty balanced discord right here. No. All you got to do is just walk down the street. If I go out there and I talk to 100 people and I ask them, hey, is it cool that this guy competed and won with these? No. We'd be like History of the World Part 1. No, yes. There it is, man. But here she is. Not everybody agrees. So therefore, let's get back to trying to make it seem like this is still controversial. And there's more studying to be done.
Pertains to trans athletes. Not everyone agrees with you. I think we just have to be clear about that.
Taking away federal funds is going to hurt all California kids, which is why the state of California needs to comply with federal law.
Bam!
It's very simple.
Very simple. This could all be so simple, but you rather make it hard. Why? Why are you making it hard? Why are you hitting us with the Lauryn Hill? Dang on it. Making it hard. I'm going, this is not a tough one. This is one Kev could have passed when he was in high school. I would have came out looking like Dexter, a genius. Man, they'd have been, all right, Kevin, this is a tough one. All right. Tell me, which one of these are the girl and which one is the boy? Oh, I know this one. That one with the apple stem is the boy. Darn right, Kevin. You're killing it. You're crushing it. See? Thank you. Please, no autographs. Stop it. You're embarrassing me. You're embarrassing me. You guys go ahead, you crazy kids. That's what I would have been. I thought I was a genius. That's how easy this one is. And I sucked at science. So let's continue. Here we go.
When you dig into the science on trans athletes, what is really clear is that there needs to be a lot more research on a lot more trans athletes to be able to draw.
Once again, now she's going with the blossom theory. This is the default. The default is let's drag it out and act like we need to keep the study going to keep the waters muddy. You know, it's kind of like the reparation thing. Yeah, we're not saying let's do reparations. Let's study the possibility of reparations. We'll keep the carrot dangling because we don't want to take a stance. We don't want to say either yay or nay. So we're going to drag it out and act like there's studies and there's still misinformation, disinformation out there. I mean, there's a lot to know. There's a lot to know. That this issue and topic that just popped up in the last 15 years, now we have to do studies on it. Because all of our prior data, history, biology, physics, common sense has just been wiped clean the last 15 years. Now we're doing studies to figure out, hey, you know what? Let's study these that people who think we should be studying their mind. That's what we should be doing. All right, then. What makes you think you're something that you're not? And throw them in there too. Why are you supporting and encouraging this nonsense by pretending it's a real thing?
Better conclusions about the effect of whether gender affirming care actually reduces or eliminates the advantage.
Now you see this lawyer, she's getting tired. She's going, oh, girl, you about to make me.
Advantage conferred on an athlete who is genetically male. Would you welcome more research? Is this a situation where more research might help?
Now you're about to get what you asked for, crazy news lady. Look, she's gonna say, oh yeah, I support the research, but not the kind of research you think.
Absolutely think that more research and more careful and thoughtful discussion is necessary here. Pediatric sex change procedures are very harmful and they cause lifelong damage to children.
Put that in your stinking pipe and smoke it. You thought she was going to go ahead and appease these people with these crazy things. Yeah, sure. Just, I mean, you never know. Things could change. We could find out with more research that once a man becomes a woman, he loses all of his strength. And, you know, it's fair competition. We could find out if we keep looking and keep digging, or we could just stop while we're ahead and use all of our common sense. If they paid me to do the research, I'd be like, all right, I'm done. As soon as they go ahead. All right, we're going to pay you to do the study, $1 million. Here's the check. Thank you very much. I'm done with my research. But you didn't even go to the lab or do any stuff. Yeah, I know I didn't need to do any of that. I'm going to take this $1 million and go because the research is history and biological evidence and physics and reality. There you go. There you go. Here, and I'm gonna show you. If you think I'm lying, watch this. All right, there, look out there. You see that one right there with the nice hips and sashaying back and forth right there? Yeah, you see that? That right there? That's a woman. All right, now you see that? That got with the big shoulders and the big hands and tall right there and the big. That right there? That's a man. All right, I'm done with the research. Thank you. Let me know whenever you want me to do some more research on some stupid stuff we already know.
And this is something that the United States of America needs to examine thoughtfully, and people need to be able to discuss openly without being called bigots and transphobes.
Yeah, because now we're going to get an example. When this wonderful, clever lawyer right here gives it to this raggedy propagandist.
Yep, totally hear you. There are obviously clear benefits to playing sports, to competing in sports. So when you're looking at an athlete like AB Hernandez, what would you have her do so that she can benefit from sporting?
I view AB Hernandez as the victim in this situation. I feel for him, and I feel that
now she is not only trying to correct the host, but now she's about to cut through the thick and the thin. She's like, actually, there is a victim in this. Okay? For all you stupid adults that are saying things like her, and then what do you want these to her, and then not everybody believes that they're signed at birth, you're the problem. Y'all have created this kid to believe this stuff. You're supporting this delusion. You're putting this kid in that position by saying, yeah, live out your truth. And now she is too truthful, and watch CNN try to stop her.
he has been lied to for his entire life. And it's probably very destabilizing and difficult for him right now to realize that what he's been told is not actually reality. He cannot become a girl.
But you know what? We're not here to talk. You know what's coming. Yeah, because now she's giving this woman a heavy dose of truth. And anybody who's watching this, Yeah, but you can't have that on CNN. Watch this.
What he can do is compete in the male
Can we stick to
category.
Okay,
or
let's
if
stick to
CIF
sports.
Julie, can you? That's too harsh. That's too much reality. Can we stick to sports? Can we stick? Boy, you brought that on yourself. You asked for it. You wanted to know about that, but is that not fair? Because you know what? Sports are important to everybody, and why can't they always try to make it seem like, it's just about health. It's just about sports. And so many things, lessons you learn from sports and stuff like that. Well, one of the lessons is bonding with your own teammates because of commonality. There you go. When I was in college, they didn't have separate showers. Well, all the guys, we knew we were guys. Yeah, we were in that locker room farting, pooting, the laughing, joking, towel popping, all of that stuff. Yeah, guys shooting boogers all over. Acting like men. Didn't have to worry about, whoa, wait a minute. I'm uncomfortable now. There's 5 of us in the shower and then one comes in and no apple stem. There you go, that person. Yeah, but you never see that. You never see the women doing that. But you see the guys want to do it. So you just flip that on his head. All the women feel good and comfortable. Hey, girl, come on, let's get showered. We're going to go to eat. All of a sudden, you see a guy walking in with a tallywhacker. And you're going, okay, is it just me? Am I the only one that feels uncomfortable? And then you bring it up. Yeah, suck it up. Okay? And stop whining. Overlook the tallywhacker. It's not real. It's a social construct.
So you say compete in the male category or what?
Or if the state and CIF want to create a separate category for people like A.B. Hernandez, and that's something that they want to do, fine. It is not fair to female athletes who have worked their entire lives for this kind of competition, who also, by the way, cannot speak out for fear of retaliation, which A.B. Hernandez's mother has personally threatened against them. So it's very unfair for our girls and women in California to have to compete with males, have to share facilities with males, and then not be able to speak up about the unfairness because people are going to label them as bigots.
Woo-wee! Yes! Love it! Love it!
Right, let me show you, baby. That ain't no woman. It's a man. It's one of Dr. Evil's assassins.
Yes.
Look out! He's got a knife! Oh my God.
That ain't no woman, it's a man, baby. So there you have it. We had to go through all of that once again, only to land on reality again. We've concluded now. This is how many times we have to talk about this. Those are men. So if you look at what is going on with that young man, and then you see people coming to try to justify this or explain it, because the woke side of our society, along with the Democrat Party, have allowed this to coexist and supported it, and then attacked and demonized anybody who combated it or brought it to anybody's attention or went to defend the actual girls. They've done that. And now what they've done is created a group of folks who feel like their victims are being picked on. In reality, nobody hates them. Nobody's picking on them. You've created a group of people who now wants to fall into the category as discriminated and picked on and stuff like that. So anytime now they're hit with the dose of truth and reality, they interpret it as you're bullying me, you're picking on me. And that's another way also of shutting people up and telling people you can't question my decisions, even if my choices actually mess with everybody else's freedoms. But you can't question it because I'll just throw you in the category as a bully or you hate me. And in reality, nobody hates these people. Yeah, you guys have put these people in a position to become, or at least feel like they're victims. You got these people believing that there should be no reaction to them doing these things. No reaction to you being a man getting in female boxing and beating up the girls. There should be no reaction. There should be no reaction from seeing an obvious little boy run down the track meet lane and just destroy the females by 2 or 3 seconds. Should be no reaction. Yeah, because you got crazy folks on the left who've been encouraging this all this time. And so now all of these folks think if you question this, you know, if you jump out and say, Kev, you know what, you shouldn't be over there weightlifting with the girls, I'm offended. Yeah, you're trying to bully me. And nobody's trying to bully these people. They want to be victims. They're encouraged to be victims. And that is how they keep the argument from really doing what it's supposed to do, which is shed light on how unfair this is and letting these people realize if you want to go and do what you want to do on your own by yourself and it don't affect anybody else, nobody will be saying nothing. But you jumped in here, brought this issue to the public. It's impacting others. And when we say, hey, what's going on over there? Shut up. Yeah, you racist and stuff like that. So now, it's Saturday, y'all. We got a little more time. If y'all got a little more time to chill with me, let's go ahead and look at some of the delusional leftists. Because not only are they supporting what we just saw, listen to these interpretations of what's going on around our country. Even some famous people are going to show up on this list. So let's see what they're talking about, y'all. The Republican bill would take Medicaid from what is that? I can't see.
The One Big Beautiful Bill also provides.
Wait a minute. Did that just? I had to read that backwards. But did that say would take that money from undocumented citizens? Well, darn right. So let's go ahead and see if people understand what our lovely press secretary is telling them.
Critical protections of Medicaid, which will strengthen and preserve the program for decades to come through common sense efforts to eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse.
I don't see what the problem is.
Medicaid will no longer be used to pay for barbaric gender mutilation procedures on my.
Well, look at that. Well, yeah, I mean, that sounds good. No barbaric medical procedures
minor children.
On minor children. Yeah, that right there shouldn't even be a medical issue. It should be a legal issue. Yeah, it should be one of those, wait a minute. And it would have been years ago. You're going to let your kid go through what? Oh, no. We can't have that. You're an unfit parent. The parent's crazy. Yeah, I'm not going to blame it on the kid because the kid is 7, walking around thinking he's a little girl. No, I'm going to blame it on the parent that says, and when I found out my little Tommy wanted to be little Tammy, I was so excited about it. And you're the problem. So no, we don't want that money going there. What else?
And the 1.4 million illegal aliens who are currently improperly receiving Medicaid benefits will be kicked off the program.
Well, darn tootin'. Duh. You telling me we should still be forking out some scratch for illegal immigrants? These are common sense things, unless you're crazy and delusional.
To preserve it for hardworking American citizens who need it.
Darn right.
President Trump and Republicans are protecting Medicaid benefits for pregnant women, children, disabled individuals, low-income seniors and families, and the most vulnerable Americans in our society.
Yeah.
And that's what Democrats are so angry about.
That's right, because they want that money to go towards their illegal immigrants and all that, the transgender stuff and kids and all of that crazy stuff, like they always do. And calling it justice and affirming care and stupid stuff.
Basic Medicaid protections that will stop the funding of transgender insanity and illegal aliens from ripping off American taxpayers.
Wow. Man, y'all, this administration is beautiful. Now, if we can get rid of all these judges that are blocking all of this stuff and using their platform and stuff, get them out of here. If we can get rid of that, once we get over that hump, and if we can get our Republicans to start signing some of this stuff in the law and become better fighters, I mean, it's unreal, man. We didn't have, maybe I'm expecting too much too fast, but I don't think so. I mean, as quick as the Trump administration is moving, addressing all these issues, you telling me on the back end Congress can't be moving the same speed? It's unbelievable, man. Need some new blood. Lucky, man, if I just can't become a politician. But I will just say this. If I could, boy, I'd be in there letting them have it. What do you mean break? Why are you going home? How about our agenda match with the Trump's agenda and we start going ahead and solidifying and putting bills out and doing it? I ain't hearing enough clatter over there in the Republican Party right about now. I need some more action.
So many marginalized people in our nation, millions of people.
You see this crazy lady? Who went and got the crazy lady, with the cats? So why can't she just go away? You already done left the country Why are you still trying to participate in the discussion like you still here? You forfeited your American, ship. You take your butt on over to Ireland or wherever you at and go chasing some Lucky Charms. That's what you do.
Are going to go hungry. Millions of people are going to die early
They're gonna die
for not getting their medication. Millions of people are going to suffer as a result of the big, beautiful bill.
Yeah, you see? You see what TDS has done? You see what it's done? Millions of people are going to die. Millions of people are going to suffer. Millions of people are just always the sun and the moon and that's going to collide and all of this stuff because I'm crazy.
I would like to volunteer to take this old bird out of her misery.
So for God's sakes, call your senators right now.
And tell them they're doing a great
job. Tell them. Talk to some Republicans. Get the ones you've known for years and take them out to lunch and go, listen, dude, do you get this? Do you have a grandmother? Do you know what this is going to do to all the elderly in this country?
Now see, once again, she's the victim. I feel like that lawyer. Yeah, this lady right here is the victim. But unfortunately, because this is an adult and they have a responsibility to inform themselves about what's going on, I can't really say that. But on the other hand, because she's simple-minded, okay, and she's suffering from TDS, where do you think she got it from? The Democrats have been spreading this lie in spite of everything that Trump has been saying. I'm not cutting it for these people. It's not going to impact this. But because she done already got a heavy dose of TDS early, very early, she's too far gone. So no matter what Trump say or the reality or whatever, she comes out and she is programmed to say people are going to die. He's cutting medical care from everybody and stuff.
Do you have any understanding of what's at stake?
Yeah, we do.
This is the most blatantly corrupt thing that Mango Mussolini has ever come up with.
Mango Mussolini. Now, she don't realize she's no longer relevant. She has no pull. When is the last time you saw her in a movie or anything? This right here is her own movie. She's playing her own real life character as a crazy washed up actress who has resorted to making short little video clips online about Trump. There it is. That's the last thing she's going to ever be shown in is this right here. So here she is really believing this. And this is the fascinating part about what's going on around the world and in our country when it comes down to this delusion. It's sad to watch these people right here that aren't politicians, but they're dedicating their time because they're truly concerned for nothing. She's truly concerned for nothing. Look at the things she's just repeating. And it got her all messed up. Made her leave the country. She's getting on TV. Folks who didn't remember her from that back in the 80s and 90s like, who's the crazy lady, mommy? She's not the only one.
Honestly.
She's not the only one.
Very infuriating.
Look, illegals.
No.
Illegals trying to get Medicaid. Hey, watch. Do it again. Yeah.
No.
That's great.
This is the...
Where'd they get that baby from? That is the best right there. No. That's how they are. That's how we got to start treating these Democrats. Because they always want to reach in and grab everybody else's money except their own. So here we go.
Most blatantly corrupt thing that Mango Mussolini has ever come up with.
Blatantly corrupt.
Honestly.
Yeah. And you're
ugly. There you go. Oh, we got another one. Another one spreading this disease. See, now this is it manifested in society. Now we can't even have a party. Hold on, wait a minute. Oh, y'all get ready. Won't you take me to crazy town? Won't you take me to crazy town? Yeah, man. You talk about it. Yeah. So here we are in Crazy Town, ladies and gentlemen. Please keep your hands in the ride because you don't want one of these crazy folks to bite you and spread this TDS on you. Okay, so here we go.
I want to remind everybody that July 4th is canceled.
Okay, why are you talking like somebody with a very weak voice? It's been crying all night. Everybody, July 4th is canceled. Why? I like July 4th. Now, who is this person who speak of canceling July 4th? Oh, a crazy person, so it don't matter. Now, you got to understand, this lady thinks she's making a difference. She's thinking she's spreading this and everybody's going to be like, yeah, let's all go ahead and boycott July 4th. Liberals ruin everything. Party poopers.
It's canceled. It means nothing. It's trash. It's garbage. It's something we vomited up, apparently.
Well, you see that? Up there, don't realize she's crazy with all of that purple with a little bit of pink, that she went all the way. Want to make sure everybody knew she was a crazy, old, middle-aged, washed-up liberal. So now, we can't have July 4th, according to the liberals, because of, I don't know what she's talking about. But here's the crazy part about this is that she believes it. See, this is delusional stuff that I'm talking about. You don't have to just be transgender to be delusional. See, when you suffer from TDS, yeah, you're projecting all of this garbage on all of us. So now she's really thinking she's making a difference. Like we're all going to be like, man, did you see this video? It went viral. We should all listen to this. If anything, this all goes viral. So we're going, this is what not to do. This is where you end up when you suffer from TDS.
The 4th of July. Okay. If I hear a single firework, if I see a barbecue out there.
Okay.
Mother.
Whoa.
It is canceled.
We are expected to
Oh,
celebrate.
here's another one. Here's another one. Out there with, I don't know what that is on the top of his head right there. Let it go, man. So let's go ahead and see what this guy who got this parakeet hairdo look going. Here we go.
Great freedom when the truth is we are far from free. And our taxes pay for it.
Do you see? Perfect case of delusion. Now, we can't have 4th of July because he's saying the truth is we're not free. What are you talking about? We're not free. And then talking about the tax dollars that pay for it. See, this is the reverse of reality. So Elon Musk and Doge go in and they show that our tax dollars are being blown through by NGOs and sending money off for the craziest, stupidest stuff and money getting kicked back to politicians and their wives and their families. All of this nonsense. And this guy's conclusion right now is we're not free. We found out under Biden that they were snooping around, trying to put people on lists, deemed them to be a potential danger to our country and radicals, all because they were conservatives, checking out their speech, making folks get the shot, locking folks in the crib, forcing masks on folks. And this fool, now that we don't have to deal with none of that, is concluding we're not free. That's his conclusion. That is a perfect example of delusion right here.
Honestly, think about it. Do you really believe you'll feel good this year standing there looking up at fireworks, pretending everything is okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All these people are doing is documenting online how nuts they are. They don't realize these are case studies. Regular humans are watching these people and they're going, wow, we do have a population of insane people. We sure do. But in his head, he's perfectly sane. He means this. And he's trying to convince us all to buy into his delusion.
We won't pretend that explosions overhead make us independent while our rights, our voices, and our futures are being sold off behind.
Are being protected like never before. Finally got a president that's in office that is protecting women's rights. Really? So they can play in sports without men beating them up. Yeah, protecting our trade so we can bring jobs back to America and we can get better trade. A president protecting our borders and growing our military, making them stronger. And this fool, do you really feel protected? Do you really feel like that? And I'm going, boy, you're delusional. You're allowing, these folks got to be the most miserable people ever. Once it's infested in society where these low-level folks who they really are suffering from TDS, you know that they're living a miserable life. So now, if you're his friend or family, everybody, you're ruined. You can't have 4th of July. Yeah, that guy right there, if he has a family and kids, yeah, Daddy, can we get fireworks? No. Can we go down to see the fireworks? No. That we're boycotting and everybody's going to do it. And in reality, nobody's going to do it. You're not changing anybody's mind, buddy. You're just walking around mad by yourself for nothing. Because the stuff that this guy believes is not even happening. our rights and
our
stuff.
backs. Instead, we reclaim the day with solidarity and silence.
What does that mean? What does that mean? You're going to be quiet and solitary and on the side all by yourself? Because nobody's doing it. Everybody's going, okay, well, you stay in the house and we're all going down to watch the fireworks and get some franks and put them on the grill. That's what we're going to be doing. Don't be looking over the fence once that aroma comes over and tries to bring you over to sanity because you want yourself a hamburger. Nah, we seen you online talking about that, with boycotting the. So don't be coming over talking. So what y'all doing over here? Get out of here. We're enjoying the 4th. You said it's a boycott. Oh, here's another dummy.
There is, Donald Trump does this thing. Not only, like today, he says, we got 5.1 trillion in the Middle East. It was 1.5 trillion like a week ago. But most importantly, he sits down for these interviews, and I think Biden should have been more accessible. Maybe we would have had a competitive primary if he had been more accessible. But he does these interviews, and then he says, I don't know or I'm not sure. Like, Kristen Welker asked him, do you need to uphold the Constitution? I don't know. Ask a lawyer. Are you sending migrants to Libya? I don't know. Ask Homeland Security. You just announced a new nominee for Surgeon General who didn't graduate from med school. Why? Bobby likes her. I don't know her.
Yeah. That's how you keep the fake news off your back. Yeah. Make them chase a whole bunch of little fires. They go ask so-and-so. Yeah, I don't know. Now, so Trump's doing all these interviews, but apparently he's not answering any questions and stuff, according to Jessica. Maybe she forgot this.
You have the power to bring back Abrego Garcia. I don't make that decision. Lawyers do.
You are arguing on behalf of him right now.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that is what the criticism is of him. He may be in front of you, but that doesn't mean that he's not spewing utter BS.
Uh-oh.
And now a quick look at how Joe Biden answers questions.
And you ain't black. God bless you all. And all those who continue to serve on the front lines of this pandemic.
Okay.
And may God protect our troops.
I got a question. Get vaccinated. Excuse me, where are you going? Creepy, where are you going? What the?
That doesn't sound like a recession to me. Thank you very much. Thank you. May God protect our troops, our diplomats, and all brave Americans serving in harm's way.
Okay, well, we got a question. What the? Creepy, come back here. Creepy.
I want to thank you, and God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you.
Don't you leave. Creepy, don't you leave. Somebody.
By the way, look out for your neighbors. If you're in the region, look out for your neighbors. So thank you very much, and thank you, Commissioner. I really think it all works.
But I got a question.
I'm not supposed to take any questions, but go ahead.
On Afghanistan?
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan.
What good is it to give us? You see that? Yeah, go ahead. I'm not supposed to take any questions, but go ahead. What about Afghanistan? I'm not going to answer about Afghanistan. Okay, I'm out of here. You see that?
Kate, before we let you go, will President Biden, after his remarks today, take questions? He's given a couple of speeches. He did the interview with ABC News, but the White House press corps and the American people have a lot of direct questions for him. Will he take those today?
The president never shies away from taking questions. I'll let him make a decision if he's going to take questions this afternoon. The president never shies away from taking questions.
Get vaccinated.
Okay, but I got some questions about that. Nope, not him. Yeah, so Jessica thought that Trump, when he does these things, nobody knows he's talking about it. Trump is one of the most transparent, if not the most transparent president we've ever seen. Okay, and he knows how to deal with these crazy folks. So now, guys, we're going to go ahead and see what happened to the fallout of what we just seen. All this craziness that's going on. We want to see the bad juju that's done come from all of this nonsense. So
this is the fundamental challenge for the Democratic Party.
Okay.
Trump has been making gains with their base. At the same time, he's been maximizing the Republican base too.
And you know what? Yeah, you've been losing all your bass in the voice. At the same time, he's been maximizing his but I'm going, you need some bass in your voice. But since he's giving it to us the truth, I'm going to let it slide for it right now. So let me see. Trump is doing what? What are we doing here over in MAGA country now?
Never shies away from taking questions.
Get vaccinated.
Here we go. Let's see.
This is the fundamental challenge for the Democratic Party.
Okay.
Trump has been making gains with their base. At the same time, he's been maximizing the Republican base too.
What? So you mean to tell me we done snuck over in loony liberal land and start grabbing a lot of Latino people and black folks and all that? So we've been snatching them, and young men young men and women. We've been snatching them up. But yet, on the Democrat side, they ain't been doing nothing.
This first map shows every county in the country where Republicans have strengthened each time Donald Trump has been on the ballot.
Woo, that's a lot of red.
And the second map shows you where the Democrats have gotten stronger each election.
Oh my, a lot of ball spots. Lots of ball spots on that map. I'm looking around like, is that a little piece of blue? I don't know what. So look at this, y'all. Oh, these midterms, unless they pull some shenanigans, we should have a great midterm. Here we go.
I'm calling these counties that have moved continuously triple trending counties. These are places where you really see the realignment happening in the country. The maps show the depth of the hole the Democratic Party finds itself in.
The depth of the hole the Democratic Party finds itself in. And what are they doing to dig themselves out that hole? Flying down to El Salvador to bring back illegal MS-13 gang members. There it is. That's what they're doing. They're running around putting Jasmine Ratchet out there and talking about impeaching Trump and investigations and stuff like that. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Well, what else? Here we go.
All told, almost half the counties in America are triple trending to the right, while less than 2% of the counties in the country are trending continuously in the Democratic direction.
Now, that is some bad juju. There it is, man. Go, juju, go, juju, go. Bad juju. All over that map right there for the Democrats. They worked hard. They worked hard for this map. There it is. Lawfare against Trump. Tax on, conservatives under Biden and all that. Lies, deception. The thing on lockdowns. Keep going. Afghanistan. Whole bunch of stuff. Don't forget the illegal immigrants, the border. They worked real hard for that. So yeah, they deserve it.
The biggest concern for the Democratic Party, frankly, isn't just those top line numbers. It's the demographics and the complexion of those counties themselves.
The Democrats are looking at this report out today in the New York Times, shows that nearly half the countries in the country are triple trending Republican. Basically, none are triple trending Democrat. They have lost the people. And rather than look in the mirror and say, maybe we need to offer people something different.
Yeah, tell us, Michael. Yeah, because I would think that's what would be the smart thing, the rational, logical thing. Like, all right, guys, everybody gather around, team meeting. It was a tough loss we took. We went out there and we did our worst, because they can't say they did their best. We did our worst. And I think next time we should go lean in heavier on the wokeness and the Trump derangement syndrome. That we'll get them eventually. That'll work. Hasn't worked in the last 8 years, but eventually it'll work.
They say, no, we just need to speak in a way that these dumb idiots can understand. You heard their line. They said, we're speaking in a way that's too professorial. No, the problem isn't the words you're using. It's that you're offering open borders and crime and men in the women's bathroom and all sorts of things that the people don't want. The people are...
All the stuff we just watched in the beginning of my live stream. That's why. They just don't get it, though. That's why they're out there in California right now going, all right, what are we going to do about this young man? Oh, thank you very much, Mousy. What are we going to do about this young man right here that wants to be a girl and is going to win? How's this going to look in the midterms? Are we going to look... That's why they don't know what to do now. See, because of all of this nonsense. So what else they're offering us, Michael?
They're smart enough, and they're smart enough to reject you at the polls.
What about just the... That's right. We're smart enough to reject them at the polls and realize that no one wants to be associated with the crazy group. Nobody. How you gonna be over there talking about I'm not like the Democrats and the radical part and the crazy folks. I just support the party who supports the crazy folks and got all these crazy ideas. How can you with good conscience, if you're a person with any type of common sense, support what we're seeing come out of that party and what has come out the party? But here's one right here. Here we go.
Candidates themselves. I want you to listen to Dan Pfeiffer, the former Obama advisor, about the concerns about who Democrats have been putting up as candidates.
Yeah. So for more than a decade, the face of the Democratic Party was someone that could not connect with young people on a cultural level. We're not cool. We're not interesting. We have become in the minds of a lot of others, not always fair, but sort of the crossing guard party.
The crossing guard party, absolutely. Yeah, see. But let's see what Rouhani here has to say about that, because apparently he got a different interpretation of that. Not the cool party, The party that's out here with angry women and softcore guys. Women that say, you shut your mouth, that's all that test, you're mansplaining. You shut up and men need to go ahead and it's women's rights and all of this stuff and the Me Too. Yeah, that's that party. And then the guys, you know what? With no bass in the voice, but we're going to win over all the men. That's what we going to do. So now let's see what it is rot. And let's see how his interpretation is of what that man just said.
You agree with that, Mr. Connor?
I agree with a lot of Dan Pfeiffer's comments, but not this one. I sort of disagree with. I mean, Kamala Harris, for whatever you say about her, did connect with people culturally. There was the press.
What? This is another case of delusion. Kamala Harris did connect with people culturally. It was the what?
Brat Summer.
The Brat Summer. And now this guy's giving us the perfect example of why they are not winning over anybody. Because they go into these think tanks and think, well, let's try this. Here's what we're going to do. On the board, right here. We're going to go ahead and call this Brat Summer. And then what we're going to do, instead of you coming out actually and talking to people and doing interviews, we're going to hide you. And then we're going to go ahead and pay all these influencers on TikTok to pretend that this is a thing called Brat Summer. Now we're using a lot of money from USAID and all of these places like that. So don't worry about it. We're spending crazily. That's what they're doing. That's what they did. They manufactured a false reality, made it seem like Brat Summer was a thing. They tried everything they could. Came out talking about J.D. Vance and Donald Trump. It's just weird. They're weird. Only to prove they were the weird ones. They come out talking about Trump's not popular, only to prove that they're the manufactured party who pays protesters to come. They pay supporters to come. They're all fictional. And yet this guy's trying to tell us, Kamala was very popular. She connected with the public. That's why she got blown out.
There were all these people putting up the coconut memes. I think the problem with the party is that we didn't have a clear economic vision for working class Americans.
That's it. You might want to go back to the drawing board and reassess that. The economic. Not only that, you didn't have a vision for us in any category. Period. Globally, concerning trade, nothing. I mean, it's horrible. The party was absolutely horrible. Open border, coming out lying to us. The border is closed. There's no one coming, taking it to the cartel. Lying to us. All of the horrific things these folks did. And he's talking about we just didn't have an economic message for them. It was way beyond that. Demonizing folks, telling everybody you're either a racist or whatever you disagree coming out of a party, you're sexist, xenophobe, homophobe, transphobe. Nobody wants that. Nobody.
And say, here's how we're going to restore communities that were hollowed out. Here's how we're going to actually improve your life in lowering huge costs or raising your wages.
Yeah, because y'all were trying to destroy our economy, destroy our society. So we'll go ahead and submit to a global alliance. Break us so much to where we're no longer loyal to the country. We've been watered down from illegal immigrants and crazy liberals who hate the country. And they just break the spirit of all of us patriots to where you say, look, man, whatever we got to do to stop the rioting, to stop the whining, to stop the investigations, to stop all of the nonsense, we'll do it. Y'all want us to submit to a global country and a global alliance? Fine. Just make it stop. And that didn't work. The American people had a little steel in their back, and they showed y'all by coming out and punishing y'all. But this guy, he thinks it's just about the economy.
And there wasn't a sense that we were believable on those economic issues. I don't think that the answer is just let's figure out how we become cooler. It's how do we have a substantive vision that's going to convince working class Americans we're going to improve their lives.
Yeah, but see, y'all don't have that because you don't really want to improve Americans' lives. There it is. You want to improve the illegals' lives and people overseas and all of that stuff. But you got to understand, that right there defies your whole business model as a Democrat. You're not out there trying to convince individuals why they should support you guys and you're crazy behind policies. Why? Why would you do that? You're trying to, first of all, create a whole bunch of victims and make sure that those victims believe that you guys are fighting for all these issues you just ran through. But in reality, we're creating those issues. That's right. It's great. It's a brilliant plan if you're evil, right? Yeah. We mess around, create the issues, make sure folks are still whining about money and healthcare and equality and all of this stuff. And we're not going to do that. We're not going to fix that. Why would we fix the problems in our S-hole ran cities and states to the point where they start realizing maybe hitching our wagon to the Democrats is not a good thing? No, we got to keep them always chasing that carrot. So we love the fact that inner cities are being blown through when it comes down to violence and poverty and stuff like that. So we can blame Republicans for it. If we fix it, man, shoot, they won't be voting for us. Yeah. So now we're going to end with this, guys. The unserious Dems, they wanted to go to war with Marco Rubio. He ain't no longer little Marco. Marco done grew up. He's a grown man now. Grown man. So they come out and they're going to ask him some unserious questions like they always do. And Marco Rubio whoops all their tails. Whoa. Little Marco was kung fu fighting. He fought with experts.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here on behalf of the National Archives. And in addition to...
we don't have time for you to listen.
Okay, well, we'll focus on state today. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today.
Refusing to stay until every member has questioned you for 5 minutes as entitled to under House rules.
Now look at that. Now, do you think that raggedy behind Democrat is going off the top of his head? You see him looking down at that paper, reading that. I mean, that should be one of those things. Hey, man, you refuse to stay until the... No, they wrote that. That is premeditated right there. Hey, but this guy, like all of them, who come out with their gotcha questions, don't really want to know what's going on around the country. They got a very high-profile person from the Trump administration there that to whereas if they really wanted to know what was going on in the country, they got a perfect opportunity. If they were operating like full-blown adults and serious politicians that wants to know, hey, we really want to know what's going on and the things that are deficient, maybe we can help. Where can we help out at? Because we're all Americans here. We want to make sure. No, not them. Everything revolves around making sure that they can weasel their way back into power, not by presenting good policies or governing properly or working together. No, it's just by trying to say, Trump is bad. His people that he hired or brought in are stupid. They don't know what they're doing and it's evil. That motivates them all. So now this guy who's reading off this list, watch this.
Are not the standards to which we hold the Secretary of State. Now you're not only the Secretary of State, you are also the acting USAID administrator. You're also the acting archivist.
Yeah.
You're also
reading that list. Not only are you the leader of that, what they see, you're also the active archivist. You're also. So what's your point, man? What is your point? They ain't going it besides making his ego get bigger. Keep reading. Tell him what else I am. That's right. King of the world. So here we go.
The interim national security advisor. You cannot spend every day at the State Department and then neglect your other jobs that you have the responsibility to do. So how much time do you spend at the other jobs if you spend every day at the State Department?
Well, now you know I can't offer you 8 hours today to answer every question on this committee, which you were complaining about earlier.
Oh my! See? Now that's what you brought on yourself. He just had to double judo chop you to the neck for that stupid mess. Yeah, you ain't messing with an amateur. Because Democrats are unserious. Marco knew what he was walking into. He know these fools ain't coming in here asking legitimate questions, wanting to know what's happening and going on around the world. No! We want to go ahead and bring up every issue possible and then make stupid comments like this.
Did you anticipate or did you want, when you were sworn in to be the Secretary of State, do you want to have the jobs of
the jobs of let me see what my somebody wrote for me.
No, I did not apply for those jobs. I was asked to serve in those roles, and I'm happy to do it. The archives are doing great. The USAID has been folded under state, so it's a sort of a duplicative role. And the National Security Advisor, which is on an interim basis, has tremendous overlap with what we're doing at the State Department.
Well, then why not get rid of all of them?
Then why not get rid of all of them? Yeah, why not? Because we're trying to downsize the government. But you want to be smart and snarky. And if he actually did get rid of them, then you'd be whining about that. These different departments are crucial to the food that goes to people in Botswana and the kids with AIDS and all of this stuff. asking stupid questions, unserious Democrats.
Just put everything under you. Get rid of all those departments.
On the issue of Ukraine, here's what we can all agree on. There is no military solution to this crisis.
Right.
It will have to end in a negotiated settlement.
True.
And the fundamental challenge we have in Ukraine is this. Russia wants what they do not currently have and are not entitled to, and Ukraine wants what they cannot regain militarily.
There you go.
And that's been the crux of the challenge.
Yeah. Now, this man right here laid out a very clear understanding of what the problem is and where we're at with that war. First of all, honestly, if we wanted to, we could just say, man, I ain't got nothing to do with us. We're not even going to mention anything about this war. We're going to withdraw all of our funding and support and let that operate like it's some random countries overseas that are just having a squabble. Don't even bring it up to us. We don't want to hear about it. La 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 la. And let it run its course. But we're trying to actually look at how we can stop this and save lives. But you would think the Democrats would be serious and understand what Marco Rubio just said was true. And where do we go from here? But instead, watch this.
I don't disagree with that at one level. But on the other hand, what Vladimir Putin is doing now is playing for time. And he's playing this president like a fiddle.
Oh, you mean playing for time like he did for what, 3 years under Biden? Yeah, playing for time. You know what? Don't. Then what are you going to do if Russia invades Ukraine? Don't. Sending Kamala overseas. I'm here. Right here in Europe. This is southern in Europe. That woman sent her over there for 3 years now. Putin's been doing whatever he wants. Biden didn't even have a conversation with Putin because, of course, we know what would happen. Putin, like we all know, would realize Biden is nuts. So now all of that water went under the bridge while all y'all kept doing is just feeding more money to that little midget, Zelensky. And now you want to talk about more pressure and hurrying up and that Putin got too much time. Trump should have solved this. He's been in office, 4 months? 4 months?
And the longer he plays it, the more opportunity he has to gain territory in Ukraine, and the harder it's going to be to get him to the table.
So why don't you go ahead and spend some time going over and talking to Zelensky? Why don't y'all Dems go over there and say, hey, man, look, dude, you better come on, man. We ain't go, hey, at some point, we're going to go ahead and back off and y'all going to get smashed. Y'all might want to listen to Trump on these negotiations. But no, these Democrats all support continuing to throw cheese at the rat. Yeah, feed the rat some more cheese until it gets caught in the trap. That's what's going to happen. So, yeah, instead of that, these people are talking about that we need to hurry it up because we need more pressure on Putin. What does that even look like? What does more pressure on Putin looks like? Because technically, this ain't got nothing to do with us. But let's continue, though.
What we need to do is to put pressure on Vladimir Putin in every way we can to ensure that we can get them to the negotiating table.
No. We had pressure when Zelensky came over here sitting in the Oval Office. But JD, what do you mean by the ceasefire? Because we had him over here. The little midget, the one that you Democrats were meeting with prior to him going to the Oval Office and telling him, don't sign that agreement, man. Don't worry, we got your back. Talking him out of it. Walking him right into getting killed. That's what y'all did. Yeah, y'all about to get Pookie killed.
Well, I disagree with this playing with a fiddle analogy because the truth of the matter is when Vladimir Putin woke up this morning, he had the same set of sanctions on him that he's always had since the beginning of this conflict. And Ukraine was still getting armaments and shipments from us and from our allies. And the European Union is about to impose additional sanctions. And the U.S. is looking for no Patriot batteries to be able to transfer from other NATO nations.
She wasn't ready. She didn't do her homework. She was looking for that soundbite. So now that's two down. Okay. That she tried to come in and jump him from the back, and he was like, "Oh, I know you didn't just hit me." So now with all of that, where is Trump, Putin's that all this stuff Marco Rubio just laid out. Now you would think she would go, "Oh, thank you for just informing me of that," right? You think they really want to just know all of this information to say, "Thank you so much, great." That just keep us posted. No, everything they're doing is let's go ahead ask certain questions to either try to get him or to try to make Trump look bad. And Marco's very prepared for that nonsense.
From NATO nations into Ukrainian hands. And what the president's trying to do is end a war. He's trying to end a bloody, costly war that neither side can win,
I
and
think
people
we
are
all
dying every
support.
single day.
Well, I think we all support. No, we don't all support that. Because prior to Trump even getting in office, y'all all we're full-blown committed to this until the end. Keep the money coming. Yeah, nobody was talking about ending the war. Y'all was talking about winning the war, which y'all all know we're unwinnable. It's unwinnable. But we're going to stand till we win, and we're going to get back all that territory that Zelensky lost. No, you're not. No, you're not. It's gone. It's over with. Yeah. So you might as well chalk it up. It's like a person who still think they look fresh and could go out on the beach half naked, and you're going to do this over with. You're past your prime. Embrace where you are now. Embrace where you are now. Put a t-shirt on over that. Okay. Let's continue.
No, but this notion that I don't know, what has Putin gained throughout this? He hasn't gotten a single concession. He hasn't gotten a single sanction lifted.
He's gotten time. Unlike all the time that Biden gave him. that's what you've concluded. It's gotten time. What does that even mean? Okay. And what part does the little midget play in this too? Because as long as the little midget don't want to tap out and come to the table, he's also giving Putin more time. But this lady, he's got time.
The more time he gets with that additional pressure on Russia, the more incentive he's got to continue to.
The more time he gets, the more incentive he gets. So what's the solution, lady? That's my question. See, Dems, unserious. Coming out pointing out stuff that, number one, took place under Biden, the bulk of it. Trump been in office 4 months. And you're talking about what else? What other additional things that we can do to Putin? So now, aside from what Marco Rubio just said, what do you want? What do you want to say? You know what? We're going to put boots on the ground. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to give Ukraine nuclear weapons to respond to. That's what you want to hear? Because that's not going to happen. But once again, they're unserious.
Yeah.
Gain territory and continue to play for time.
The person we're negotiating with.
Here we go. Here's some more nonsense, unseriousness.
Vladimir Putin. Is he a war criminal?
Well, I think you can look at instances that have happened there and certainly characterize them as war crimes, but our intent is to end the war.
Is he a war criminal?
We can't end the war without talking to Mr. Putin.
That's pretty simple. Is he a war criminal?
Well, that's
this man we're negotiating with, Vladimir Putin. Is he a war criminal?
Now you hear, he wants this stupid question answered. Now, knowing that we are trying to negotiate a ceasefire and an end to the war, and you want us to do that by calling one of the parties that we need to negotiate that a war criminal. Was Bush a war criminal? Huh? The invasion of Iraq, looking back, should we go ahead? Tribunal for Bush. We went in there for nothing. Lost a whole bunch of lives on every side. Was Obama a war criminal? Droning some folks, including American citizens? That's what we want to know. I'm starting to question a lot of our little skirmishes that we were involved in. Now that you guys have shown your ability to push us towards war for nothing and to get kickbacks and all of that mess, I'm starting to question a lot of those skirmishes. And if we were doing it for bad reasons, were we war criminals? Was Hillary Clinton a war criminal? Was any of those folks who sent us to endless, crazy, stupid wars that led to nothing, were they war criminals? See? And the fact that we could have prevented this whole war from taking place with Zelensky and, of course, Putin. But what did we do? Don't give in to him. Don't tell him that you won't join NATO. Forget Putin, man. I wish Putin would try to do that. We got your back, Zelensky. We got your back. You sure? Because I was just about to negotiate the ceasefire with... Nah, man, don't do that. Keep fighting. We'll keep the money coming. So by us supporting that and giving more money instead of trying to stop that mess, which led to a whole bunch of deaths on both sides. Are you guys thrown into that war criminal category too? No? Okay, let's continue.
It's not tough. But what? I'm trying to answer your question by telling you that we're trying to end the war here.
Go ahead.
No, it's not a simple answer.
You are equivocating, sir. Just answer the question.
I'm answering you.
Look, you see how stupid and unserious they are? Just answer. I'm trying to answer. Just answer the question. No, you're not. Well, yes, I am trying. No, you're not. Just answer the question. Yeah, you don't want the truth. You don't want a real answer. You're trying to get a soundbite. You're trying to get Rubio to put himself in a box up against the wall after saying, yeah, Putin's a war criminal. Because once you label him as a war criminal, we don't negotiate with those type of folks. Once he's a war criminal, We want him to go to court and be tried. Surely that will motivate Putin to come to the table. Once he knows, well, if I go ahead and cease fire and end this war, they're going to be requesting me to come to trial for this and possibly hanging me. But this fool knows that by getting Marco Rubio to say that, that right there crushes any negotiations. If I'm a world leader and I hear them throwing that around there, especially the U.S., most powerful country in the world, and I hear their leaders talking about that guy's a war criminal, but we want to negotiate a ceasefire. You cool with that? Well, you just called me a war criminal. What's going to happen to me after we end this war? Oh, well, since you're a war criminal, we'll probably put you on trial for war crimes and then hang you. Well, then I'm not stopping. In fact, if I feel that is my fate, we'll go nuclear. That's what we'll do. Before I go ahead and give up this war and get hung, I will go ahead and say, let's go nuclear. These are the dumb, unserious Democrats.
Question, and the answer is that war crimes have been committed, no doubt. And who's responsible for that? There will be time and place for that accountability. But right now, the job is to end the war.
So you won't answer
we don't
the
end
question.
The war, people are going to
Reclaiming my time, sir.
Reclaiming
Let me
my
go
time.
on. Because
look, that's how it is. You got to laugh at these fools. I thought reclaiming my time because you're not falling for my shenanigans.
Because I don't understand this. Now you're unmaking him a war criminal, and you won't answer the question about the exact same circumstances.
You're putting words in my mouth.
I'm reclaiming my time, sir.
You're putting words in my mouth.
And you know what you said to Secretary Tillerson at the end of his answer when he equivocated just as you are right now?
I'm not equivocated.
You said,
you just don't let me answer.
Get him, Marco. Get them, Marco. You knew what you was walking into when you came. So you see this fool with that thought. Well, you didn't say what I wanted you to say, and that you know what that. And Marco's like giving it to him. Yeah, wait, I'm reclaiming my time. Hey, wait a minute, it's my time. Nah, man, you up here trying to get a soundbite and saying stupid stuff, and Marco's not falling for it. Oh, little Marco was kung fu.
Sounds like it to me. Then I'll give you a second chance. Is Vladimir
You never gave me a first
Putin
chance.
war criminal?
I already told you, war crimes have been committed.
No, you didn't tell me if he's a war criminal.
Mr. Chairman, am I allowed to answer questions?
I'm reclaiming
Yeah, you want to be a dumb negotiator, right? Yeah, these folks don't care about the country because if they did, he wouldn't be asking that stupid question. That would be like if he was responsible for going ahead and stopping a war and he knows that he needs to have a certain rapport with one of the participants. We're not at war with Russia. Yeah, so right now we're just simply a mediator, okay? That technically we could allow them to both just destroy each other and say they ain't got nothing to do with us. But we're trying to stop it. And he thinks by labeling Putin a war criminal will give us leverage to stop that? Now, he wouldn't be dumb enough to do that if he was responsible for stopping that war, but he wants us to be. And indirectly, he's okay with Zelensky and Ukraine getting destroyed. Because that's the only thing that will happen if we start talking about Putin's a war criminal. So either we're going to sit back, let Putin destroy Ukraine, take the whole country, or what are we going to do? Send troops over there? A war that we ain't got nothing to do with? That's what we're going to do? To arrest the war criminal? You see how unserious these Democrats are? Now, they don't care about bad diplomatic relationships and what it can lead to, long as we can make Trump look bad.
My time, sir, and listen.
You asked me a question, then you reclaim your time, so how can I answer
You
the
answered
question?
it. Listen, let me go forward with this.
Because that wasn't a goal for you to answer a question. But thanks for smacking me around while I was up here saying stupid stuff.
3 questions. And I'm
Are you
being
gonna
pretty
reclaim
clear to
time
you.
on those too?
I'm giving you a chance to answer. Give me
No,
a
you're
chance
not.
to ask the question. Here it is.
The last point is, our goal is to end this war. We have to be able to talk to both
Point of order,
sides in order to do
Mr.
it.
Chairman.
In order to be, we have to end this
My
conflict.
time is answered. His time answering my question ended too. It's the next person's time. That's the rules in this committee. When you won't
Now
even
you see these fools? Do they sound serious? Every time they have these hearings, same thing. Stupid questions, a lot of badgering. They don't come there to actually learn or understand what's going on. And we're supposed to trust that you guys are making good decisions for our country. That's what we're supposed to trust. We're supposed to trust that you guys are the committees that actually come together to solve problems. No, y'all come together only for power, only to try to make Trump and the Republicans look bad, not to solve problems. I couldn't trust them at all. If this was some type of governing group of people over a company, you would think they'd all come together with their minds to say, all right, where's the company at? What can we do? How can we make sure that our products are selling? Are there any deficiencies? What else can we do? How can we support this? You wouldn't expect them to come together, and the whole reason is to say, you guys over there that on this side of it, and y'all never this, and did you say that? Did you say that? Nothing but arguing. They're like, you don't want to know about operations? You don't want to know about what's going on in this department and why? No, it's just let's get in here and argue. So you don't want to make the company better. Unbelievable. So wait, just a few more. We're out of here.
Let a person enter into the record something from our ambassador till recently from Ukraine, Ambassador Brink, who resigned because of the conduct of this administration after 30 years of service.
Keep a better eye of the clock.
Keep a better eye of the clock.
Your time is expired.
Continue.
Our goal is to end this war so more people don't die. We just want people to stop dying. Every day this war goes on, people die, things are destroyed, and lives are ruined.
And do you think that's the style of the Democrats? Nah, man. They ain't trying to save lives. Look at all the lives they encouraged that were lost coming across that border from all over the place, risking it all to get here, dying in heat, dying from the cartel. Look at all the lives that were trafficked. Look at all the lives that were lost, because of opioids. And yeah, I'm sorry, I logged out. But look at all the lives that were lost because of the fentanyl that came across the country. Look at all those lives that are lost. Yeah, how many lives were lost when they was encouraging the Black Lives Matter riots and the Antifa riots and stuff like that? They don't care about lives. Are you kidding me? Yeah, the Democrats are like, man, we would sacrifice as many of those bad boys as we have to for power. I mean, look at all the lives that were lost because their illegal immigrants came over here and committed some type of crime and end up taking out the life of an American. They never apologized. Look at the 13 Congress. Well, it looks like look like my internet's is moving slow. Y'all there? So anyway, look at all the lives that were lost because of the Afghanistan debacle pullout. Soon as all these lives are lost, they never come out and say, oops, we were attached to this. We had something to do with this. Nope. But what they will do is they'll get out there on TV and tell you that all these lives are going to be lost because of Trump's policies. So anyway, with that being said, let's get back to this. All right. Let me make sure, though, that... Okay. Well, there you go. All right. I saw myself glitching. By the way, I really want to thank the people who gave in the super chat. I saw someone else give a little bit ago, and I appreciate that. Y'all might mess around and make me be able to go out and buy me another TV, which I'm going to do it, y'all. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make this one nice and pretty. All right. And I'm going a little long today because it's Saturday. I'm trying to finish this so I can clear my table. So those that got a chance to hang in there a little bit longer, cool. I appreciate it. All right. Now, let's see. I'm seeing a little delay and I don't like it. But let's continue. Here we go.
And we want it to stop.
We have a nuclear cooperation agreement with the United Arab Emirates and Turkey and Morocco that all provide for a gold standard of safety.
Okay.
Can you assure us that you will not enter into a nuclear cooperation agreement with Saudi Arabia that does not have that same gold standard of security to make sure they're not building a nuclear weapon?
Well, first I will tell you that there has been no conversation about entering into one. For example, during the recent trip.
And I've got limited time.
So here's the thing. I can.
Sir, either give me a yes, give me a no.
Well, I'm going to give you my answer. Do you want my answer?
I want a yes
this is not
or
a game
no.
show.
Reclaiming my time.
There we go.
Well, reclaim your time, but it's not a game show. I got to answer. These are complex questions. Let me answer.
Yeah, but see, y'all don't want complex answers. Y'all don't want a real answer. No, you didn't come there to know that. You came there to keep badgering him and asking him that yes or no, on something that complex. But you want us to think you're serious. You want us to think you're really trying to get to the bottom and you want solutions and all of this stuff. But yet you want to deal with a heavy topic like that on a yes or no answer. Yes or no, that's all I'm asking. Don't bother me with the details, even though that could lead to all kind of wars and all of this stuff. Just give me a yes or no answer. So I'm sure that any of these countries watching that, yeah, that's all they would expect to hear is either yes or no. Put yourself in a box. These folks are not serious. Let's continue.
Secretary, I'm reclaiming my time. Filibustering takes place in the Senate, not here.
I'm not filibustering. I'm trying to answer your question.
You're trying. let's go on to the next question.
Get him, Mark.
Can you assure us that you will continue?
You see, reading his questions that one of his staffers wrote. Can you assure us that
sanctions on Iran until they verifiably agree to abandon all enrichment? That's a yes or no question.
No, it's not.
That's what you get, you old Gorgo. He said that's a yes or no. No, it's not. Thank you, Marco. Just straight up be like, no, it's not. You know it's not a yes or no question. Yeah, you guys don't want answers. Y'all are unserious. Boy, and y'all wonder why that map we just saw, this trending red, I want it all red. I want the whole, I want it to be a bloodbath. The whole map of the United States, pure, 100% uncut red.
Well, can you give me a yes or no? Should I go on to the next
We
question?
believe that Iran should not be allowed to enrich uranium. Correct.
You believe that it should?
We believe that.
Look, he don't know what to say. He didn't think it through that far. I don't really even know much about this topic. They just told me to ask these questions and keep badgering you and saying yes or no.
An acceptable deal with Iran is one in which they cannot enrich, because if they can enrich, they can weaponize.
I know why we don't want. I asked you, will we agree? Will we continue the sanctions until they verifiably agree to get rid of?
Oh, you have no worry about us. The worry was the previous administration. This administration has been
refusal to give me an answer is loud and clear.
No, well, I
is reclaiming my time.
The Boston.
You hear that fool? Marco gave him all kind of intel. And so wait, you want us to think that it's going to be the Trump administration is soft on Iran, even though Trump keeps saying Iran needs to negotiate, because we will not allow them to have a nuclear weapon. You're thinking, what was Biden saying to Iran and stuff under his leadership? How was Iran acting under Biden? A fool. That's how they were acting. 100% fool. But this guy, can you promise that? But let's see, a couple more.
A school of public health has a kind of a website where they post their estimated deaths as a result of the actions that were taken to dismantle USAID.
Oh, here we go. Now, one of these inferences, the action that were taken under the dismantling of USAID, because folks are going to die. They're going to be killed. People are going to die. You know what's coming. Yeah, with no details. Watch Marco light into his ribs.
And they're updating it continuously. So you go to it, the numbers keep changing. They have a 1-year estimate, but they also have what they estimate has happened to today. Your action to cancel these contracts, your contracts in this fashion, freezing fund, firing individuals, has resulted in the death of hundreds of thousands of children.
Unbelievable. That is a Democrat for you, though. Basically, a hypothetical study that doesn't give all the details. This man now is saying, because of your choices, it has resulted in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of children. Now, you would think we would hear about this. You would think we'd know about this, right? You would think if 100 and some thousand kids died within 4 months, because you got to figure Trump has only been in office 4 months. Yeah, 4 months. We would see that. Folks should be up there holding their babies in their arms while they're dead. Look at this. None of that has made news. Nothing. But this fool throws it out there like it's a fact based on a liberal study. So what does Marco have to do? Judo chop.
That's false. That's fake. That's just not true. That's a study based on if we canceled every one of these programs permanently. Okay, and I'm reading it right here because I'm glad you brought it up. It assumes a near total freeze in U.S. foreign aid for HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, and other diseases. There is not a total freeze. 85% of PEPFAR recipients are receiving their care right now. But the numbers you're saying, those aren't real numbers. I understand.
They're not real numbers. In other words, you pulled them out your butt just to scare people and try to make it seem like Trump killing kids. Maybe you should have focused on those 200,000 plus kids that are missing under Joe Biden. Maybe you should have focused on that. But here you are coming up with some made up lies. 100,000 kids have died.
Now that's what the school said in the worst case dramatic scenario. And even then I think it's exaggerated. But there's just no evidence of the fact that, I don't remember what the numbers are, 100,000 children have starved to death in the last 4 months because the United States made reductions to USAID. Well, that first of all is pretty atrocious. That would mean that nobody else in the world is doing anything.
Bam! Bam! See? You expose these funky, crazy behind Democrats. Now, let me see. I'm going to have to turn the Wi-Fi off now because it's doing whatever. It looks like it's slowing me down here. All right, I'm going to the network. Y'all said, boom. Yeah, man. Did you see how Marco just dropped that out there on him? See how common sense prevails? Look, if that is the case, nobody else is doing nothing. Are we the only country that's supposed to be taking care of the whole globe? Now you see how stupid what you just said is? So let me understand. Everybody relies on us. If one of our programs go down, that means we're responsible for smaller countries just dying. I don't like that pressure. I don't know about you. I don't like to carry the weight of the rest of the whole globe. Nobody would have reached out to France or England or anywhere and say, look, man, we got kids over here starving. So, in other words, you're lying.
We're taking care of the entire planet? We do more food aid than anybody in the world.
Oh, watch this lie. This black dude. Watch this.
We're doing more food aid than anybody in the world.
Secretary, I'm reclaiming my time. You are speaking in generalities. I'm talking about specifics.
I'm speaking in specifics. We do more than anybody in the world, and we're doing more than anybody in the world right now.
Oh my! You see, when they're whining about getting their money back from USAID and stuff like that, and the people are dying and nobody, and he's like, "But we're doing more than anybody right now, more than anybody." And you see, when you expose this kind of crap to Americans, because we didn't even know we were sending all that money all over the place, and yet we got these fools trying to send more. While we're already the number one, and here he's talking about that, reclaiming my time because you're exposing my lying. That's what that means. Whenever you hear him say, reclaiming my time because I'm lying.
That's hyperbole, sir, because this has been disrupted because of your freezing of aid.
Who does more food aid than the United States?
Yeah, tell us. Sir, why are you asking me questions?
Look. Sir, why are you asking me questions that I don't know? I don't know no answers. You think I came out here because I'm informed about what's going on? No, man. They put this stuff together so I could just badger you and try to make it seem like you lying and you're killing kids and stuff like that. That's what I really came out. So by you asking me that, I got to go ahead and start reclaiming my time because I'm lying. Here we go.
My job is to ask you questions.
You're the one that's claiming that
Secretary, I'm reclaiming my time.
Because I'm lying. That's what he should say. Secretary, I'm reclaiming my time because I'm lying, man. And you exposing that.
Secretary, I'm reclaiming my client.
My client. Look, he couldn't even get it out. Reclaiming my client. Okay? All of that lying got me messing up. So wait. Here's the guy that went down to El Salvador. Let's see what he got from Marco.
And personally, did I regret voting for you for Secretary of State? I yield back.
May I respond?
You may sit.
Well, first of all, your regret for voting for me confirms I'm doing a good job.
Bam! Yeah, you tried to hurt Marco's feelings. You thought that was gonna hurt his feeling? No, I ain't hurt his feeling. Yeah, we celebrate Democrats being mad. When that happens, that means we doing something good.
That's not what I know.
Well, that's just a flippant statement, Mr. Secretary.
Can I respond?
Oh, now he want to get back in.
I didn't ask Senator.
Now, see, he ran out of his time. Now he want to get back in because Marco opened up with that judo chop.
Please let the Secretary. I'd be happy to, but then I can respond to this. Your time's up, Senator, and willfully used, I might add.
First of all, I'm actually very proud of the work we've done with USAID. For example, I don't regret cutting $10 million for male circumcisions in Mozambique.
What? You mean to tell me the average American, ain't upset about that? We want more male circumcisions in wherever, Timbuktu or wherever. Yeah. So what else are these Democrats defending and they're mad because they want the money to do?
I don't know how that makes us stronger and more prosperous as a nation. Well, I can go on. I mean, there's other things here. We spent $227,000 for Big Cat's YouTube channel from USAID. We spent $14 million for social cohesion in Mali, whatever the hell that means.
We don't know. Social cohesion. Everybody come together that we want to be cohesive. All right, let's just stand here in a crowd closely. There we go. They're paying us to do that. They're paying us to do it. So let's see what else.
So I can go on and on. I got the list here, and there's more. I didn't even bring the whole list. In the case of El Salvador, absolutely. We deported gang members, including the one you had a margarita with. Oh. And that guy is a human trafficker, and that guy is a gangbanger, and the evidence is going to be clear in the days to come.
Mr. Chairman,
who you went to.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Chairman,
Rubio has the floor. Mr. Chairman, he can't make unsubstantiated comments like that.
Like you just did? Like your whole party has been doing throughout this whole hearing? Marco start judo chopping him, and he's like, "You can't be just judo chop. You gotta stand there and not punch back and stuff. Cause so let me just beat up on you. You can't be trying to beat up. Oh, here's the lady with the wandering eye. Here's that lady with that cock eye. All right, so let's see what this witch got to say.
Where in the way that the Secretary of State can override the First Amendment protections of free speech.
Well,
Is there a
Constitution-
footnote that I missed?
Constitutional right to a student visa.
So, but is there
Student visa's a
a
privilege.
constitutional right? Does it say Marco Rubio gets to determine which speech is appropriate and revoke student visas based on what you think constitutes free speech?
There's a statute that says the Secretary of State gets to determine whether someone is a threat. We deny visas every day all over the world.
Do you think that the Immigration and Nationality Act trumps the Constitution of the United States, Mr. Secretary?
Well, Congress can always change the law if you want, but I'm telling you,
Mr. Secretary,
you're not messing with a flyweight, ugly. Yeah, you're not messing. Don't be trying to distract him with that eyeball going all every which way. Maybe I can go ahead and woo him with that wandering eyeball. You sit there like, man, I want to retaliate, but I can't stop focusing on that. Which one of the eyes she you? Hold on, man. Are you looking at me with that one or the other one? That's what I want to know. So there she is trying to hit him with that voodoo of the wandering eye.
Let me be
I will
clear.
continue to revoke the visas of these people that come here to tear
You
this
said that,
country
Mr.
apart
Secretary.
because they're on
Reclaim
student
my
visas. They're
time
guests.
because you are talking
Reclaim
about
my time
revoking
'cause I'm
student
lying.
visas based on what somebody says. And that means that you are trumping the legal Supreme Court, the supreme law of the land, which is the Constitution of the
Yeah, had to read that one. You're trumping this. What's this again? What country? What do we have as a supreme? We never really use these things until we're trying to badger the Republicans. So it gives me the willies even say it. The supreme law of the land. Oh God! Because if they could get their hands on shutting down freedom of speech, they would. But now all of a sudden she's sensitive about all these students that's over here starting trouble and stirring up activism and stuff.
United States.
No one has
Why
the right
did
to a
the
student
administration,
visa.
Mr. Rubio, why did the
Privilege.
administration
In early February, the president announced a special refugee program for Afrikaner farmers, justified by some concerns about South African foreign policy, but B, a claim that these were persecuted individuals. So right now, the U.S. refugee program allows a special program for Afrikaner farmers, the first group of whom arrived at Dulles Airport.
Where you going with this, man? I know where you're going with it. Trump's a racist. We're trying to keep people of color. And why are we letting these white folks come? While getting rid of all of our precious illegal immigrants we worked so hard to bring to the country.
Virginia not long ago, while shutting off the refugee program for everyone else. Do you think Afrikaner farmers are the most persecuted group in the world?
I think those 49 people that came certainly felt they were persecuted, and they passed every sort of check mark that had to be checked off in terms of meeting the requirements for that.
Okay, now I'm gonna end on this one because I want to, for the sake of time. So you hear what he just said, right? Y'all heard that? Y'all heard it. Each one of these Democrats had to come out and they were given an assignment of one thing to deal with. How can we make Trump look bad over this issue? This issue, your job is now the illegal immigration from Africa issue. So let's see how this guy responds based on what Rubio just said about these people in Africa.
They live in a country where farms are taken, the land is taken on a racial basis.
I assert that this claim that there's persecution of Afrikaner farmers is completely specious.
Oh, really? Yeah, and I don't think he's the only one. Look at this.
False conspiracy theory. The fact that the president of South Africa was trying to share was that data collected by white farmers themselves, these are the white farmers, has counted 1,363 white farmers murdered since 1990.
That's it? That's it? Okay, so what else?
Which is an average of 40 a year, far less than 1% of total murders. The rest are all black people.
All black people. Are they all black farmers being murdered just because they're black farmers? Or these are just random murders across the whole country? Well, it's funny how they don't break that down. They don't separate that. Aren't we talking about specifically being targeted because you are a white farm owner? But now all of a sudden, how do you get thrown into the category of all murders? All murders. Yeah, because they're trying to get us with the sleight of hand.
So there's no genocide going on.
Senators do not want to
What do you
leave.
think the phrase "kill the white farmers" means?
Yeah, that's a phrase that the ANC, that was a phrase that, was against the anti-apartheid movement.
Okay.
But the ANC, who's ruling the government, the president's government, has disavowed that phrase.
There you go. Disavowed it. But did he come out and say, look, if any white farmers are attacked or killed for being a white farmer, we're going to go ahead and press charges? No, he just said, I don't agree with that phrase.
Is disavowed in any songs And there's no evidence that white people are being targeted, and the majority
No evidence. No evidence that white people are. So you know what we got to do, y'all.
of Afrikaners do not want to leave.
They're not a part of the government.
They don't want to leave, but that don't mean they won't leave. You think they wanted to leave? You think the ones that came wanted to leave?
Scott, you're taking a fringe movement and you're trying
fringe.
to make it a characteristic.
Y'all see that? Y'all hear them trying to downplay it? See, they won't admit it until all the white African farmers are dead. Then we can finally say it was a genocide, right? But they're taking a little small fringe that we're going to see just how small it is.
It's the height of racism. It is the height of racism
to be exempted from all violence in any society.
Now, do you hear this man right here? You see this guy with these arched eyebrows? That is right to say all white people need to be exempt from violence in all society. Shouldn't everybody be exempt for any violence in their society? The fact that you, and yes, definitely, no bass in your voice, all right, has the nerve to bring up white people. So what? What do you say? White people shouldn't be exempt from violence in their society? Should it be encouraged? I'm not saying that they're not going to be victims in any society. We're going to have victims. But it sounds to me as if you're saying that there are some situations where white people should be targeted for violence. So now they got big soft dude right here with no bass in that voice with them arched eyebrows. Probably just came out of the beauty salon, laid back with the hot towel on their face. All right, the how high you want us to arch those eyebrows today? I want them to be touching my hairline. That's how high I want them. So let's finish hearing from arched eyebrows.
And that is what is being said here. If we cannot say, there is no white genocide happening, there is no farm genocide happening, and the argument is some white people have been killed, even though 27,000 murders happened in that country. What are we saying?
What are we saying? What are you talking about, you dummy? You're talking about just general murders, not murders targeting certain people. And they're trying to conflate the issue, saying that white folks shouldn't be whining over there about this and all of that.
If anybody of one racial group is murdered, then that constitutes a refugee status for that particular group.
When the president has also
the height of racism.
You see the height of racism. These fools on here trying. So now let's hear from somebody from Africa before we go.
into the refugee program.
Yes,
for all other people.
Larry, has been debate over that song, that anti-apartheid chant, right? And for people who don't have a historical context, it does.
Let's get past that. I'm sure y'all all seen that. Here we go. This is recent. This is recent. The fringe movement that the CNN was just talking about. And the small, yeah, this is a recent video right here. He's still saying it.
I am Mayor Brandon Johnson.
And look at this fool. You see this fool? He's supporting Africa. All right, so which I'll support Africa too. I love Africa, but I don't support that violence or this stuff over what's going on in the U.S. And of course, Memorial Day. Look at this fool.
And I am proud to join you in recognizing and celebrating Africa Day. The continent of Africa is made up of 1.2 billion people with diverse countries full of rich traditions, cultures, and heritage.
What about America? This is made up of 300 and something million people with lots of diversity. Racism, the xenophobia, homophobia. So let's hear from somebody from Africa.
So this is the farmer portion of this, well, this is the beginning. And then Cyril Ramaphosa denies that farmer tax are anything different. He says South Africa is a violent society, or farmer tax.
Yeah, that was the president down there talking to President Trump, talking about, don't worry about it, violence everywhere, man. But nobody's targeting these guys. So let's hear that, because we done heard the guy with the arched eyebrows. We done heard from the folks on the View. Everybody's saying it. Everybody's saying, no, look, man, stop whining. So now somebody from Africa going to break it down.
Everybody's under threat. If you live in the townships as a poor person, you're just as likely to be killed. Not true. There are 30,000 commercial farmers in South Africa.
30,000.
There are 3 million commercial farmers in America.
Okay, 3 million.
If you take 2000 to 2020, the number of South African farmers murdered, not attacks, murders, and they're about 45% of the attacks are murders. Torture and rape are 20% of them. Torture and rape. and it's not just white farmers, but it's mostly white farmers. If you take the numbers of South African farmers that have been murdered, extrapolate that pro rata to the 3 million American, you would have had 234,000 farmers murdered in America from 2000 to 2020.
Now, when you break down like that with those real numbers and statistics and all of that stuff, that sounds like almost a genocide to me. At that rate, when you make it relative to who you're talking about and trying, to stop trying to blend it in with everybody and to make it seem like, no, we're just talking about all murders. No, when you specifically realize that, wow, if that small portion of farmers in their country was murdered at that percentage, if it was the same thing over here, that means that over 100,000 so American farmers would have just been killed. Now, I'm pretty sure we would start saying, now, wait a minute, we're finding a recurring theme here. Why are all these American farmers just being killed because they're American farmers? It would sound like that we got somebody in society targeting American farmers. And at that rate, trying to kill and take out all the American farmers. But this guy right here gets up there to Marco Rubio and says, that's a lie.
Are you aware ever during the apartheid era in South Africa, did the United States establish a special program to allow South African blacks who were treated as second-class citizens?
Yeah, because what you're saying now is, of course, it's racism and discrimination. But see, so now you're talking about, have you aware of any time that during apartheid, guess what? Trump wasn't there. Trump wasn't in office during apartheid. And I'm sure if he was, he would offer refuge to them too. But yet you're trying to talk about what happened in the past. It ain't had nothing to do with Trump.
In the apartheid program, special programs that they could claim refugee status in the United States?
No, because I was probably in 9th grade or 8th grade at the time.
Yeah, well, then I don't expect you to know. I'll just tell you, never.
Never. Ain't got nothing to do with Trump. Okay?
Has there been a program? We've never allowed a special program to allow Africans into the United States in an expedited refugee status.
Take that up with all of the prior presidents that were here under apartheid. Don't try to bring that up with Trump. We're talking about what's currently happening. And this guy's trying to slide in some racism.
Until now. But I think but I'm going to ask you, what, so a well-justified fear of persecution?
Yeah, they thought that their farms were being burned down and they would be killed. I think that's a pretty good justification for wanting to come. They're afraid for their lives.
And should it be applied in an even-handed way? That's an easy.
No, our foreign policy doesn't require even-handedness. It requires prioritizing the interests of the United States.
The phrase says you are entitled to entrance as a refugee if you demonstrate a well-justified fear of persecution.
No, you're not entitled.
So can you have a different...
So wait a minute. You mean to tell me all the people that came under Biden had a legitimate fear of persecution? So you go from 50 or so from Africa versus over 11 million from all over the globe under Biden. What was all their excuses? Did you try to look into it? Did you try to see what their credible fear was? Was that something Congress was interested in doing? Did you look at all of the paperwork and stuff from all these people and say, all right, this one is legitimate, that's legit? No. You didn't care about what their reason was? No, it could have been anything. Climate change, for a better life, because you know what, I always wanted to come to America. They accepted any and everything under Biden. But now all of a sudden he wants to talk about credible fear and all that stuff and all that. You see how unserious they are? They weren't serious about finding out the reasons from all 11 million plus illegal immigrants that came into our country under Biden. But now they want to know about these 50-something Africans because they're
standard
white.
Based upon the color of somebody's skin. Would that be acceptable?
Well, I'm not the one arguing that. Apparently you are, because you don't like the fact that they're white, and that's why they're coming.
Say that would be unacceptable.
Well, no, I would say that the United States has a right to pick and choose who they allow into the United States.
Even based on the color of somebody's skin.
You're the one that's talking about the color of their skin, not me. These are people whose farms were being burned down and they were killed because of the color.
Give it to him, Marco.
Our immigration policy should be based on the national interest of the United States. Period. End of story. If there is a subset of people that are easier to vet, who we have a better understanding of who they are and what they're going to do when they come here, they're going to receive preference, no doubt about it. There are a lot of sad stories around the world. Millions and millions of people around the world. It's heartbreaking. We cannot assume millions and millions of people around the world. No country can.
Thank you, Marco, for putting that to bed. All of that whining and stuff and what about that when did we ever bring in the Africa? Yeah, all unserious questions. All questions designed to make this administration look like they're doing something evil. They're racist, they're whatever. And these folks are unserious. And every time you get a Republican to come up to Congress, they show just how unserious they are. And Marco, he did it. He went ahead and was like, blocking all that mess and giving it to him. Yeah, he was dishing it out as hard as they gave it. So thanks for kicking it with me today on a Saturday. I went 2.5 hours. Yeah, man. Because I had to make up for lost time. So thanks for hanging out with me and enduring this lengthy process. Also, I want to thank those that helped out in the super chat. Man, boy, I tell you, great. I appreciate it. It will go to use. I think I'm going to go out and start looking for that TV right now. You can also support through my Cash App, PayPal links below the video. And, that also helps. And other than that, hit the like button, share my videos as we get out of here, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. I shall be back on Monday. So let's get out of here. Oh, don't forget, text MAGA to that number right there. Yeah. I think I'm gonna make some chicken. This is our city. Yeah. Take care.